I got to do the 4Kids dub, Sanji. Hey, Luffy, get out of the fridge. I'm cooking for Nami. That's my 4Kids dub, Sanji. Get out of my fridge, lost head. Gee, I'm cooking for Nami and Robin. Robin Chuan over here. That's my 4Kids.
That's going to be the opening.
Yeah.
That has to be the opening.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we highlight and discuss new series each week. But today, we are back with more Done Piece, which means that my name is Josh Vinsmoke Michaels. Ooh. And today, I am joined by
Mehgan, Nami, Perrine. Woo! We got 2 straw hats in the house.
Two straw hats
in the house.
This is the first time you've cosplayed Nami. Twice Robin, first time Nami.
I know, it feels so odd. I was getting ready today and I was like, I'm not Robin today.
Yeah,
I had to do this outfit though. She's so cute wearing this outfit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Adorable. So I just had to, but yeah, first Nami.
Yeah. And
you
I've
cosplay Sanji.
Kind of done something. I mean, what I did was shouldn't even be considered cosplay. I just drew a curly eyebrow on, but thanks to Mehgan, shout out to Mehgan for, I made the cape, but.
Yeah, the cape is all you.
But Mehgan for the wig and the makeup and everything, thank you so much for making me look like the Black Leg himself.
We had to. And before you start commenting, just remember, okay?
Uh-huh.
We have never hated Sanji, okay?
Yeah, I don't know how that started.
It really, it's like slander, and we were just pointing out things that we weren't necessarily fans of about his character. And this arc really reinforced the things that I like about Sanji.
Yeah,
all the things that I missed about Sanji, I got back, and it felt like Oda was like, it's okay now. It's going to be okay for a little bit at least.
Yeah. I do feel like, we had a couple nitpicks and we're a little frustrated with his character and sort of the direction his character seemed to be going in. Mm-hmm. And I feel like everybody heard that and was like, you guys hate Sanji. This is a Sanji hate channel. Mm-hmm. But it's not. We have always had a special place in our heart for Sanji, have always loved Sanji. But like any friendship, We've had a rocky relationship. Okay, it's been a rocky road.
It's just that was so good
because ice cream sweets, Whole Cake Island.
Yeah, because he was just like, it was just all for this moment. It just felt like I was surprised to see his backstory at all. I mean, that was one thing that did not get spoiled for me one bit, which was awesome. But it just felt like, we were building up to this moment like Oda was doing these things on purpose so that you could appreciate him when the time were to come. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But I loved Sanji in this arc. Again, it just made me realize once again, shined a light on what I loved about him in the first place and what I wanted back from him.
Yeah.
And he was just on the shelf for a little bit, but
yeah, this was some much needed quality time with Sanji, and I really appreciated every single moment of it. This is just the first half of our Whole Cake Island discussion. This is going to be this is the a couple tiers of the cake.
Yeah.
Not the whole cake. This is half the cake.
It's half the cake.
Like Mehgan said. Shouldn't have tried to one up that one.
Yeah, you usually do that. It's so funny.
Today,
and you never learn your lesson.
Today,
I have the power today.
Oh, be careful with that thing. Today, we are going to be covering chapters 825 through 864.
Woo!
And
that's big boy numbers.
That's big boy numbers. This was a behemoth of an arc, and even this is a big mom. This arc, is fitting. Big mom, big arc.
Yeah.
But it was a total of 39 chapters, and it's just part 1. It's shorter than Dressrosa, but a lot happens. And like Mehgan said, it was kind of out of nowhere. I didn't get this spoiled for me either. I had no idea this was coming. And I have to be 100% completely honest, out of fear of any nitpick being turned into something that's thought of as hatred for a character. I just want to say I do love Sanji, but at first when everything started unraveling, it was a little unexpected, but it was so out of left field, and it was like such a weird time. I felt like, to be getting all of this backstory and all of this information and all of these all of these secrets revealed about Sanji's family. At the time, I was like, where's this coming from? Like,
Yeah.
But I enjoyed every single part of this first half so much that almost immediately I stopped caring about that at all. Like that feeling of like, this is out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like, why now? Kind of thing.
Yeah, why now? And it's like, okay, I understand why now. It's because Big Mom is involved now. They were going to go see her in the first place. Now they have a reason to go see Big Mom, and there's a reason to stop her. I mean, it's all like kind of, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how the story's going to go for a little bit. This is exactly the route that they should be going on, which was fine. But again, it's like the route they do go on. I mean, I'm not mad at that at all. I mean, it was amazing. It was so much fun.
Yeah, and in terms of the setting too, I just have to say, first of all, I know we keep saying it, but it just keeps happening. That in terms of the setting alone and just seeing the Straw Hats in this setting, it was so fun for me. And almost immediately, I don't know how the community feels generally about Whole Cake Island, and we still haven't like finished it, but at least in terms of the first half and being a setup. The setup portion of an arc, like, and on into more than that. But in terms of just like the setup of it, I was so into every second of it. Like it read different, and it kept its energy, and it was this like fantasy story, Alice in Wonderland, which I'm not even like a crazy fan. Like
I'm a sucker for anything with that trope. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm always a sucker too for like a twisted Alice in Wonderland, like Alice in Wonderland, like Madness Returns. If you know the games, like I'm just like a sucker for like everything's like pretty, but it's not underneath at all.
Right.
Everything is so cute and fun, but it's actually horrible and like deadly. And this does that so well. And Big Mom in general, I mean, she just has a way of like crawling under your skin and being, pretty like very scary.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love having like a very, like we get to see, an emperor really go against all these like underlings, and you're like, damn, yeah, that makes sense why they're emperors. Like Shanks on that level.
Yeah, I mean, Shanks,
like Big Mom and
Shanks is probably past that level, more powerful than Big Mom.
Like what? Like Big Mom's a freaking monster.
That's what
and her ability is insane.
Yeah, it's so crazy, and that's what I was gonna say. I know we keep saying it, but the stakes keep feeling more and more real. And this was the first time I thought, of course I know they're gonna make it, they're gonna get through this. But for a moment, there was a part of me was like, maybe they're not. Like this is like crazy. They're up against a monster. Like this was like the first time, and Luffy's been up against people that he had no business being up against, but this time it just felt so different, specifically with a couple lines from some of Charlotte's kids saying like, yeah, you're not going to even see Big Mom.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to even talk to Big Mom. Like
you're not getting past us. And they were strong as shit.
Yeah, like Kid has come through, Apu has come through, Capone came through, like all these people, the Mad Monk, I think is his name, came through, and they didn't even get to speak to her. They didn't even get to hear her voice. You're not getting any FaceTime because she is an emperor. This isn't warlord shit anymore.
I know.
And I just really with that line and the situation, and he was fighting Cracker at the time, I was like, damn, this feels impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. Mm-hmm. Which was really crazy. A really crazy feeling given everything that Luffy and the Straw Hats have been through up until this point. It was wild. But like I was saying, I'm not a sucker necessarily for like an Alice in Wonderland type of story, but seeing the Straw Hats in this setting, in a fairy tale twisted Alice in Wonderland type-esque story, it was so charming and fantastic. I loved like the mirror world. I loved like the talking forest, the homies.
Yeah.
What up, homies?
Homies! I love the homies. So fun, so wacky, so cool. Great use. I mean, we get to see a bunch of different like races too. I mean, all living together. Like Mom is Big Mom's like mama.
My mama.
My mama. Yo mama.
Talking about my mom like that.
No, I was talking about Big Mom.
Oh, my mom's big now.
No, I was talking about Big Mom in the story.
Okay.
Not your mom.
Okay. Continue then.
Your mom is so fat. No, but I
Your
mean,
mama's so fat she makes you look skinny. Damn, Mehgan.
oh, see, you say shit like that, and then you're like, oh, Mehgan always called me fat. Mehgan always called me fat, and you do it to yourself. Like I wasn't even insinuating that at all.
Yeah, I do feel a little self-conscious in my Sanji cosplay right now. I don't know if I look more like Sanji or freaking Duval. Duval pre-plastic surgery. Tick.
How dare you disrespect Duval like that? He held it down for the freaking
and Duval on the inside, beautiful man. But he was looking a little haggard before Sanji gave him that facelift, gave him that makeover, gave him that glow up.
It's true.
So I'm feeling a little Duval right now.
You're Sanji, and that's that.
Right.
Okay, tell the man he's Sanji. Good God.
I'm not fishing for it. But if you want to leave a comment,
you're not
kidding.
Swedish fishing for it.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll accept that.
Where was I? I forgot my track, but I did love the team ups. I love the team ups. I mean, I am missing my Robin. I am missing my Frankie. I am missing Zoro.
Yeah, of course. Zoro's the GOAT.
I'm missing all of them, but I love just Chopper and Carrot. I mean, what a fun duo.
An incredibly fun duo.
It's so much fun. And I think someone commented about Carrot too, but having like Nami is funny, Robin's hilarious, but Carrot's just like, she's just so bubbly and fun, and that energy match with Chopper was just so fun to see. Because they're bit with all the whole, she's like up in the ceiling and Chopper's like trying to figure a way out. And she's like show bro. I love it. I love it so much.
I love the team ups too, and of course I miss especially my guy Frankie, but I missed these characters in Dressrosa because in the back half of Dressrosa they were gone. So I loved seeing Brooke, especially. Like Brooke to me had so many standout moments. Like Brooke did some of the most important work for the Straw Hats in this arc than I think anybody has done so far, other than Luffy, dude.
No, for real. Brooke held it down, and he had so many standout moments, and I'm so happy we got to see him like shine a little bit more. And I feel like it was just awesome. So casual, just like, oh yeah, I got him.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? You huh? Like,
yeah, what this man did was paramount, instrumental to their journey, their adventure going forward. I mean, Brooke, this is why he is the sole king. Go off, king, do you, king.
Yeah, you know why he did it though, really.
Why? Because he's the best.
To see Robin's panties.
I mean, come on, if he gives her a little one of those, I can't fault him for it.
The only reason why he doesn't care about, like, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Now you're tearing down my guy.
It was a joke.
In terms of like finally meeting the Vince Smoke family, I know it was a joke, man. I know. In terms of meeting the Vince Smoke family, how did you feel about not only getting to meet them, but just them in general and Germa 66, which I have a couple of little fun facts about.
Oh, okay. Again, it was a little random. Why now? It makes sense. The whole explanation of, well, you had a different picture in your wanted poster. Now you have an updated one. We see you now. We're going to get you. Snatch, snatch, snatch. And it was very random because, I always figured something was up with Sanji based off the like, oh, I grew up here, grew up there. But I didn't think it was to this extent. Like this fool had a whole ass life before he went on an island and starved. I thought, that was pretty sad. And and very hopeless, but it gave so much character to him and why he is the way he is. But then you find out more, like, damn, like this is why the way he is. Like,
yeah, I mean,
you
I
had
guess
a whole ass like
I
Stranger Things fucking lab shit going on.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't think I guess I thought we got everything from Sanji's backstory that there was to get.
Yeah,
and then it ended up just being this really huge secret that was revealed.
I'm like, who else got some skeletons in their closet? Damn,
Brooke.
Zoro?
If Brooke gets in a closet, that's a skeleton in the closet right there.
It's like Nami goes all through Arlong Park. Is like, but wait.
Yeah.
You remember how she was adopted? This is her story before that.
Yeah.
It's like even sadder.
We're going to get a Zoro in the womb backstory. You guys don't even know about it yet.
That's pretty crazy.
But in terms of like Germa 66, obviously a lot of the designs and a lot of, their just what they are kind of representing and maybe probably most likely what they're based on is very Nazi-esque.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. And I mean the Papa, Endeavor.
Oh yeah, and the dad did look a lot like Endeavor, dude.
And acted like Endeavor too, but not as. I think Endeavor had a little more of a soft spot. This fool is like one of the worst dads we've encountered in One Piece thus far.
Yeah, no, he's a pretty shitty guy. Like a pretty terrible guy.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're gonna have these babies, and I'm gonna do some with drugs. And she goes like, no, I don't want that. They're my kids too. Too bad.
Yeah.
Literally losing your
I'm gonna
livestock.
genetically alter them so that they have no emotion, so they can be bred to be perfect warriors with exoskeletons and be basically super soldiers. Is that cool?
Is
She's
that cool with you?
No, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it anyway.
I'm gonna do it, and then she like tries to unalive herself because of it, or she tries to take drugs. I'm like, what?
Maybe give a little home abortion.
Yeah, I was like, bro, that was fudged. And I mean, Sanji's mom was so pretty.
She was pretty. She was sweet. She was
so
kind.
Sweet. And it is funny how all of them just look like so different. I mean, they all have like crazy hair and colorful outfits, and Sanji just like, I'm chilling with my blonde hair. I got my white shirt. Like, he's just so casual.
Sanji is swaggier than all of them, though.
He's swaggier.
They're peacocking. They're
It's true.
They're overcompensating. This man just shows up looking classy.
And it has to do with like his character. I mean, he is just like a modest guy.
Yeah.
He is just like
a gentleman.
He got humbled. He's a gentleman.
Well, a quote unquote gentleman.
A quote unquote gentleman. But yeah, I mean, again, this is. I mean, you're putting Sanji next to the worst people, next to the Celestial Dragons. Like, I hope you come out of it being like, Sanji's actually not that bad.
Yeah. And in terms of the Vinsmoke family and their designs, you're saying they're all very different, all very colorful.
Yeah.
So it seems like from, the research that I've done that they are in some way either fans have just assumed this or Oda has said this somewhere. I couldn't find that Oda said it anywhere. But a lot of people say that they feel like or believe that the Vinsmoke family are based off of like Power Rangers and the Super Sentai, which is, I believe, the Japanese version of the Power Rangers. I can't help but also feel a little bit, and this is not a thing. I'm just saying, like, for me personally and my life experience, I couldn't help but feel like when we met Sanji's family, it was like meeting Shigo's family in Kim Possible. Yeah,
you mentioned that, and I don't remember
because number one, we didn't get to meet them for a long time. We didn't even know Shigo had a whole family. We just thought it was Shigo. We just thought that's all we needed. And then out of nowhere, and don't tell me that we needed more than Shigo. Shigo fine. She goes so fine. She go hard.
She go hard. I like the guy too.
The guy. Oh yeah.
Her like boss.
Yeah, I forget his name. Starts with a D though.
He's fine too.
No, he is not fine.
He's
Mehgan.
fine.
You're out of your fucking mind.
He's like Joker vibes.
He's not Joker, Mehgan. Jesus
hot.
Christ, dude. The deeper we go, the worse it gets.
He's hot.
He's not hot. Dude, you need to rewatch Kim Possible. You need to check yourself.
Okay, Ron is hot.
I could take that. I could accept that.
Okay, I like Ron and him.
Ron's cool though. Yeah, that's a good answer.
I like him. What's his name?
Anyway, no. Anyway, damn, taking me down this whole rabbit hole.
I'm
sorry.
Donut hole.
Oh yes.
I have so many written down. I'm ready to get into it.
Looking forward to it.
I'm ready to get into it. I got my Red Bull today. Let's go.
But I was gonna say, because we don't meet her family. And again, this is my life experience, dude. This is what I'm pulling from. And I just remember feeling like when we met Shigo's family, it was like he go, me go, we go, they go, and they go are twins,
Oh, that's cute.
And, similarly, we get Sanji siblings that all have, their own like colorful kind of suits, their own kind of, and then Ichi-ni-san, 1, 2, 3, just that playing with the names in the same way, finding out that they have a family and finding out that they're all sort of, they got their own things, but they're all like, these superhuman people.
Well, I mean, I think that Whole Cake Island was written in like 2017.
Really?
Because before one of the chapters, Oda was talking about the 20th anniversary of One Piece, and that was in 2017. So if you wrote it in 2017, Kim Possible came out before.
Well, yeah, I mean, Kim Possible came out a long time ago. Kim Possible's a classic.
You never know.
Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Obviously, we got the Germany.
Yeah.
But
and
also
the flags. I mean,
Yeah.
creating like a master race
A master
type
race,
of thing.
and also, super interesting fact, in the manga, there's a lot of people who call it Germa 66, not Germa 66. And I could be wrong, but I believe that in Japanese, 6 is ni. Or is that ichi ni? Or is that 2 6s? I don't know. But I saw somewhere that it could mean Germany, like Germany. Like, I don't know. Something like the knee is the is either the number 6 or the 2 numbers, something like that.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Help a brother out. So
Help
that was
a
little interesting.
Nissan out.
Yeah, help a Nissan out. I also really love any time we get more information about Vegapunk. If there's a character I'm the most intrigued about, sure, Joy Boy, very intrigued. Assuming it's Luffy or it has something to do with Luffy.
Intrigued. Color me.
Color me intrigued. But Vegapunk, this man, I am obsessed. I need to know. I need to know. Every time he's a legend, every time they sprinkle in anything Vegapunk, I start drooling, dude. Because I'm obsessed with this guy.
You foam at the mouth. I foam at the mouth.
And it's the mystery of it all. And it kind of reinforces, some theories that I had about Vegapunk, because obviously we know that Vegapunk was working with the government to make the pacifistas, aka, the Kumabots. And, there was a point where I felt like, you know what? Like, because we find out that Kuma was a part of the revolution. So why would Kuma do that? And I had this like feeling or this idea or this thought.
Yes.
That Vegapunk was working with the government because he had to. And he somehow put in this failsafe, put in this phrase that he could say, and it would turn the Kumabots and the pacifistas against the government. And either he could control them to help the revolution, or he could basically do with them whatever he wanted to. But the only reason this kind of reinforces it is because in the beginning, we didn't know half as much as we know about Vegapunk. And what we know now is that he was working at a certain point with the Vinsmoke family, Sanji's dad specifically. And the government deemed his research very dangerous. So they captured him, they arrested him, and forced him to work for him. So this is just reinforcing that he works for them because he has to.
And it might reinforce, I don't know if a human creation is possible, then, who knows if that was like the real Kuma?
Right.
Right. That's
Great
what I'm
fucking
saying.
Point, Mehgan.
And right
Great
when they said
point.
that, I was like, oh, it might as well as confirm, like, that might not have been Kuma. That's why, like, why would Kuma do that?
Because we have to understand, too, and I'm sure everybody understands, but we have to remember that all these people we see doing Vegapunk shit, Caesar, Judge, everybody we see doing Vegapunk shit is doing, even Frankie. Sorry, Frankie, I love you. But everybody is doing like, diet Vegapunk. No one's got that
diet Dr. Vegapunk.
Diet Dr. Vegapunk. No one's doing that no one's going full Vega. They don't got that full Vega brain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. No, not the capabilities.
So you're right. Like anything we see someone else do, we can only assume then that not only can Vegapunk do that, but he could do it way better and way crazier. So it's, Mehgan, that is a fantastic theory then, that first of all, who else in the One Piece world has been like artificially birthed, created? Because they don't know. They have no idea.
They don't know.
And again, why would Oda seemingly out of nowhere start introducing this concept?
Yeah, exactly.
Like Vegapunk could have created artificially created a duplicate Kuma. Mm-hmm. Mehgan, you're really onto something with that. That's crazy. Because he said it only and again, why so specific? Oda is so specific about shit. And this arc, he gets so specific about things that I can't help but think that it's because it holds great significance. Maybe not now, maybe not even in Wano, because obviously we don't know. But even past that, I think the fact that, we're told that it only takes what, like 5 years?
5 years to birth a 20-year-old soldier.
Yeah. 5 years. I mean, that's so specific. Like, why say that? Like, I don't know. I can't shake the feeling that we're getting all this information for a very, very purposeful reason.
And I mean, it's not really like a relevant, I guess, but I just saw a picture, like a fan art of like, what if like Moria got a hold of like Ace and Whitebeard's body.
Okay.
And made them like zombies.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, oh my God, that'd be crazy. Because he's like MIA.
Yeah.
And imagine like on the front lines, he just took them.
Well,
I don't know.
They was like he went to their grave and he dug them up.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Anything's
possible.
It was just a cool thing, but it was like around the, it's like, what if?
Yeah. And I love that. We also get to see, a very emotional Sanji. Yes, he's a bit brooding, but of course he would be. He's very distraught. He's very like
he's triggered. He's completely triggered. It's like he's regressed. Like, being so removed from that for so long, and then be put back in the exact same situation with all these people that made you feel like shit and made you feel lesser than when you were surrounded by a crew that like needed you. And these people don't need him. They just need him for one specific thing, but now they do.
And we've talked about that too. We've talked about that in real life, and I'm sure people watching and listening can relate. But, as we grow and become adults, we reach this point where we leave the nest and, we start our own life. We get our own place. We do
the damn adult thing.
We do the adult thing. And we feel and we surround ourselves with people, whoever we want to surround ourselves with, become whoever we want to be. And there becomes this point, especially with me, that I've felt like at times, if anything happens, because I've moved out before and then had to move back in because of, money and stuff a while ago when I was younger. And when I moved back in, I had all this independence and, had this all identity. And then moving back in kind of made me feel like I was going back in time. That like I was becoming like I was losing who I was, and I was back. Even it's just a weird feeling. Even though I felt like I had done so much growing, I immediately felt snapped back to being
totally
this previous version of myself. Like I got the opposite of upgraded.
Downgraded?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Totally. I totally related to that too. It was just like, damn, and seeing how bad it really was, like, was really like, oh my God, like I feel for him. And he's in this position where he like, can't really do a lot about what's going on. Until much later we find out that like, you can, but in that moment, just having no hope and then the one hope that you kind of do have, it's like, well, that's gone too.
And again, we haven't really seen this from Sanji in a long time. And the one thing that I wanted to share with you, and kind of wondered if you felt the same way or saw the same thing or saw this thing the same way, was that, we haven't seen Sanji like this in a long time. And we have kind of expressed that over the course of these previous couple of arcs, like he's almost seemed to just lean even harder into these, tropes that we've seen so many times before. But we've seen also the side that we get to see here in Whole Cake Island. We've seen that in him. That's always been a part of who he is.
Yeah.
But he is really stripped down. He is stripped down, and he is so sad, and he is so broken, so defeated, and like you said, feels so hopeless. But there's also a moment where, Pudding, who will freaking get there, dude. But with Pudding, when he's wanting to not be such a downer around Pudding, there's a moment where he kind of says like, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna be, I'm gonna put on my Sanji face. Like I'm gonna put on my Sanji face. And he kind of starts pacing around the room, and he's talking to himself, and he says, I'm gonna put on my Sanji face, or something to that effect. And then he just starts acting like the Sanji we've seen from the past couple of arcs. And for whatever reason, it wasn't a moment that was really emphasized, but it hit me because it made me feel like, this really is something that's always been in Sanji, and he's just been able to be this way because he's been happy. Like all the things that we've said, like, we were, frustrated with, like he was able to be all those things because he was happy and he felt like he could be those things. And now when that's all been stripped away, he is just this really sad, emotional person. And I don't know. I was just really kind of like hit in that moment by him just being able to flip-flop so back and forth and seeing that like simp Sanji that we've seen for so many chapters now. After he said that, it just felt like, my heart broke. It just felt like, we can all relate to that. And I don't know. It was a weird moment. I also wanted to say it definitely didn't hit me as much as the Usopp Luffy moment.
Yeah.
But it hit me pretty damn hard, and it was pretty damn close.
Yeah.
When they had their sort of altercation. Did you feel the same that you felt? Because I know that Usopp is like our guy.
Yeah.
So how did it feel when you see Sanji sort of in a different but somewhat similar situation with Luffy, trying to tell Luffy, leave me alone, go away, get out of here. Like I'm not gonna be a part of your crew anymore.
Yeah, it was super emotional, and it was like way more emotional, obviously, because Luffy was just like, you're not telling the truth. Like it wasn't like, oh, okay, like I'm hurt that you're saying all these things to me. Like, F you, like, blah, blah. It wasn't like a, retreat type of thing. Luffy's like, I know you're lying. Like, we're going to help you. I'm going to stay right here. Like, don't worry about it. And it's just like that reassurance for Sanji that he needed in that moment. Because, again, it's so hopeless. He knows, he has to know somewhere. And you've seen so much. You've seen everything that Luffy's done for everyone in his crew, everyone outside of his crew. Like, he has to know just a little bit, like, Luffy might be able to pull this off.
Oh, yeah, he firmly believes that.
Yeah, but
and to hear even Jinbei say that out loud.
Yeah, Jinbei goes, I would die for my captain.
Like Luffy
Straw Hat Luffy, like what?
Like he is young now, but he says like, and we'll get more into it when we get there, but he says something to the effect of like, it's not going to be a warlord or an emperor, one of the 4 emperors that rules the sea. It is going to be Straw Hat Luffy. Like I believe that. Like to hear Jinbei say that was like, damn. And Luffy is just everything that makes me love and want to be more like him. He is doing here in this arc when he's screaming to Sanji, like, tell me how you really feel. Like, I'm not going to sit here and fight with you. I'm going to let you get this all out. I'm not going to eat anybody else's food. His stubbornness, but how he directs it and how he uses it. Man, this guy, greatest protagonist of all time.
I mean, yeah, totally. It's like the parallels of it too. Like, you have Sanji being like, I escaped. I'm going to leave. I'm leaving. And his dad's like, okay. It actually works out better for me. Yeah. So you can go. Actually, you're probably going to die anyway. So that's good. Versus like Luffy, who he's like, I'm going to go. I'm done with the crew. Luffy's like, no, you're not. And I'll be right here waiting for you. Like someone who really cares about him. And,
you're absolutely right, Mehgan. The parallels between what Sanji's dad didn't do and what Luffy did, and how we see that in Luffy from his dad's side, and we see that again from his mom's side, because he serves Luffy food the same way he served his mom food after he dropped it in the rain and it was all wet and messed up. Like,
and she's lying about it being good. And Luffy, I don't know if Luffy has fucking taste buds. Yeah. I think he just inhales fucking food for fuel. But, lying. And he's like, I know you're lying. I know you're lying. But he's still happy that he's eating it,
Yeah. This hit me hard. This hit me so hard. But what hit me so much harder was, Sanji could sit there and be told he's a failure by his father, by his brothers, by all of his family. But that moment where he's hearing Pudding say all that stuff,
bro,
that was like, I cannot do this.
It was so emotional because at the end of the day, it's just like this girl that he just met, but he was putting everything on the line. Like he completely like gave up. He goes, if this is my life now, I'm going to treat this woman with respect, and I'm gonna like love her for who she is, and I'm gonna play with the cards I'm dealt with. And he was kind of like excited, and honestly, I was like kind of happy for him. I was like, oh, that's so nice.
There was a point when I thought, man, they'd make a great couple. A very short-lived point.
Yeah, and I was kind of excited for him, and in that moment, it was just like, one bad freaking shuffle after another. Like, that was the final, like, wow.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. There's so many things to talk about in this arc.
I mean, yeah, we haven't even
started
getting into it. It's so jam packed. It's jelly filled. It's
here we go. Go off.
It takes the cake for a One Piece arc so far.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to go through. So, we do apologize, but just because of how much we have to get through, we're not going to be able to get to a highlighted comment of the day today. We'll make up for it in the next episode. But I have literally never taken so many notes in any episode. Like, I can confidently say that. So we're going to do our absolute best. And there's so many things that we haven't even mentioned yet that we're going to talk more about as we get deeper into this series. So, please bear with us. We're going to try to get through everything. I'm sure there will be things that we miss, but we're going to try to give time to everything that we think deserves it, which is so many things. So maybe we should just start going through it.
Yes.
And start. So where we pick up, where this arc begins, and again, it's only half the arc.
I know.
Is with we open on Big Mom's ship singing, and Vito talking about the Navy propaganda comic strip featuring Germa 66 that he was a fan of as a kid.
And also, I thought it was interesting. I don't know if they have there's any connection. There's a naval hero.
Yep, go off.
There was a seagull.
Go off. I already thought about it.
Sengoku.
Got it.
And it was a real story.
This is what I'm thinking too. It's propaganda. It's Navy propaganda, but I do believe that there is a lot more truth in it than I don't know, people like to believe, I guess. But when they mention a transforming robot, who is this? I don't know. Maybe Vegapunk? I don't know. Maybe something Vegapunk built, because it did look like a little bit. It did look a little bit like General Frankie, the Iron Pirate.
It did.
A little bit.
It did. And that would make sense that he would have General Frankie after having been to the Vegapunk lab.
Yes.
For all of those years.
And we only saw like the side of it, the part of it that looked like that. Maybe the head looked different. Maybe the head looked like Vegapunk. Maybe Frankie is Vegapunk. Shit, I don't know.
Stop.
And putting Win in there and erased his memory.
Stop.
And that's what happened.
Dude, such OP fruits. Like,
I know. Like, what is possible? Okay, let me just, I'm so sorry. This is about to be a 4-hour episode. The fact that pudding can erase memories, the fact that they can artificially grow humans, the fact that, Mom is stealing people's souls, the fact and lifespans, the fact that even if you go all the way back, that Ivankov can just change people's genders down to like a biologically change people's gender. Like, people can be clones. People can be the opposite sex. People can be people and not even remember things that happen.
People can be toys.
People. Yeah, everything and anything is possible. Nothing is off the table.
And what I liked about Big Mom's ability too is, like, she is the one thing that I love about Big Mom. It is this like childlike innocence to her. I'm sure we'll see a backstory of hers, but she acts, like a spoiled little brat who gets whatever she wants.
But she fucks a lot. She fucks a lot. And I don't know if that's childlike innocence.
No, it's
I hope
okay.
not.
It's not. But like the way she, it's a very Queen of Hearts, but like way more childish. She's getting presents on her daughter in her daughter's wedding.
Right.
It's a party for her.
Right.
And we all know that person that's like, let's throw a party. Let's do this for you. And it's all about them.
A lot of moms.
Yeah, a lot of moms.
Yeah, a lot of moms.
So it was just like interesting to see her, her character kind of like come to in these couple chapters in this first part of the arc. I really liked it because she's just like capable of anything, like these tantrums where she's like literally killing her own kids. Like she's just like so wicked.
Yeah.
Not wicked cool, but also like wicked.
Yeah, the musical.
Yeah. No.
The book, the short story, the poem, the song.
Yeah. The song.
I do want to say before I forget, I'm just going to mention it here, but then I'm going to go deeper into it. Sorry for being all over the place, but
we're just excited.
We're so excited, and there's so much here. When we get to the reveal of the clones, I do want to talk a little bit about something called Operation Paperclip. Okay. because Operation Paperclip, and I'll go more into it later, but just to let give you a little taste, a little bit of the frosting right now. Operation Paperclip, if Germa 66 is somehow based on Nazis and there are like Nazi scientists involved, the Vin Smoke family, Germa 66, very scientifically savvy. There is a real thing in history called Operation Paperclip where the government took Nazi scientists and brought them to America and made them work on some stuff. Probably some pretty sussy stuff, which is probably why we never really heard about the extent to which they experimented. But it's a real thing, and it makes me think that maybe if Oda likes to pull from history and real life, if we look into Operation Paperclip, then we might find some things that relate and can unfold in One Piece. I don't know. Crazy theory. I'm shooting for the stars, dude. I'm aiming for the rafters, but I'll talk more about it later because I took a couple screenshots from some articles. So
okay.
Big Mom Ship singing
Shippy.
And love it. The propaganda comic strip. Then we find out that Vito is a big fan of Germa 66. Sanji's not having it. Goes to his room, and that's where we see Caesar being kept in a cage. And we also meet a couple other people. Hitman, Gotti, part of the Fire Tank Pirates, which we're going to see a lot more of those boys. And Capone gets really fleshed out here. Yeah. He was one of my least favorite members of the Worst Generation. And he's really fleshed out here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really coming around to this man. After that, Lola's twin busts in the room. And of course it would be that shit. The whole time we saw what we thought was Lola on the cover of one of the volumes. And we're like, oh, Lola. Nah, Lola's twin comes in to break up the ruckus. And, Sanji kind of notices her and notices something familiar about her. Then we cut to the Sunny and the crew. They hungry.
Yeah, they're literally starving because Luffy's ass couldn't cook. He cooked all their food in one sitting.
Yeah, I mean, let him be him, let him be true to himself.
And now he's going to kill his crew.
I mean,
and I read an SBS somewhere where Oda literally ranked all of the Straw Hats in their cooking abilities.
Oh, that's sick.
So why would Luffy? I mean, Nami is better than Luffy in the cooking department.
And Nami does cook. She cooks. She cooks right here at this point in the story.
She cooks right here, but she shouldn't have let Luffy touch that.
You can't stop Luffy.
I know.
You can't stop him.
I know. Believe me.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah, you're Nami.
You know, huh? You know
I know too. And I'm
He's
the chef.
in your freaking fridge all the time.
All the time. I go shopping for premium ingredients and they're gone. Was that a good Sanji?
So you have to do with the cigarette in your mouth.
Luffy, get out of the fridge. Oh, I got to do the 4Kids dub, Sanji. Hey, Luffy, get out of the fridge. I'm cooking for Nami. Not you. That food's for Nami. Not you. That's my 4Kids dub, Sanji. Yeah. What is that face? Get out of my fridge, lost head. Gee, I'm cooking for Nami and Robin. Robin Chuan over here. That's my 4Kids.
That's gonna be the opening.
Yeah.
That has
to be the opening. Anyway, moving on. So they're starving. Water's boiling. Luffy catches a poisonous fish and gets poisoned, despite having some pretty powerful antibodies to poison.
Yeah, he eats it. He eats the skin of the fish.
Eats it, gets sick.
Oh, shit.
And that's when a Germa ship shows up, and we meet Vinsmoke Yanji and Vinsmoke Reiju. Poison Pink. When they show up, too, we learn a lot about, Germa 66 and their kingdom. And they roll up on these ships that are pulled by these giant, they look like they're on giant snails.
Yeah.
And we find out that their kingdom is they don't occupy land, but their kingdom is split up across all these ships, and then these ships can lock together to create their kingdom. And although they don't have land, they're still recognized or allowed to attend and invited to the reverie, which is interesting. But they also believe they're about to get outed of the reverie.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Very interesting. And we see that Reiju, Poison Pink, comes to save the day.
Of course, she sucks his face.
Yeah, she smooches.
She sucks it out.
She smooches the poison out of Luffy.
Why won't you say suck?
Because, Mehgan, that's so graphic, dude.
She goes,
hey, you're out of pocket. We're trying to switch roles for a second.
Yeah.
Something else to note here too is, I think they stated here, but none of them have any emotions except for her and Sanji.
Oh, we'll get to that. Highlight.
Yeah.
Highlight.
I
Oh
can't
my
wait.
God. It gave me chills.
Really?
Yes.
I got chills from a couple moments too, but I'm really curious to see what moment you're talking about.
Oh, I had chills. It was one of the best, what is that word? Oh gosh, I'll figure it out. Dang it.
Let's just do it. Let's just figure it out.
It's like poetry. It's like a poetic justice.
It was poetic justice?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out later. I was like, we'll figure it out now. And then we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, damn, you got me curious.
It was one of the best moments. It involves that, but yes.
I do think there was one of the best moments in what, I mean, that's a bold statement. Let me walk that back.
Walk it back.
One of the best moments in One Piece, like I experienced towards the very end of this, but we'll get there when we get there. And I'm so excited to hear what moment gave you chills. So this is funny too. There are just little touches throughout. And again, maybe I care more because Brook is my guy, but there's a couple little touches throughout where we're just constantly reminded of who Brook is and that this man has been around for a long time and this man is old.
Yeah.
Because he knows everything about the Vinsmoke family, all the legends, all the stories. And they ask him about, like, how do you know all this? He's like, I've been around a long time.
He's like, you guys act like you don't know how old I am.
Yeah, he goes,
I've been alive for a long time and dead a long time too.
Yeah, so sick. And there's another little moment like that later too.
He calls like Big Mom like a little girl.
That's the other moment. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God,
young lady. He calls her
young lady. Like, what a baller.
Bro, Brooke. I mean, that is why I love this man. He can get away with calling Big Mom young lady, and it's not like an insult. It's not rude. You know what I mean? He's not being passive aggressive.
It's true.
Yeah. Anyway, so they do explain here why now. So, we had that question, and I still do, but it is answered for the most part here. Why the Vinsmoke family is coming back into Sanji's life. His father took notice when his bounty, he was his picture was actually captured, and he was put on a bounty poster, and he was able to manipulate the bounty to raise it so that more people would be inclined to go after him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who changed it to only alive. They actually thought it looked like Sanji when the first bounty poster came out, but it was Duval. They ran into Duval, and that was a funny moment too. But ultimately, it was when this new bounty came out, this new picture came out. That's when they started to go after him. So, P-Coms, bless his heart, dude. He really goes through it right here, dude. He's been going through it, actually. P-Coms, he plans to play like he stole the ship, and Luffy and Chopper, they go into the town of Chocolate. This is where things go off, where, Water 7, Dressrosa, like Fishman Island, Skypiea, all these islands that, that we go to. And there's just such an interesting town, such an interesting landscape. This is another one where like my jaw dropped. I mean, it's crazy because there are 34 islands scattered around Whole Cake Island, and they're all managed by 34 different ministries. So this is like truly a territory that Big Mom has control over.
No, I mean, she has control over almost everything. I mean, everything is sentient. The food, the clouds.
Yeah.
She can control the weather. All of the the trees in that
The homies.
The homies. In the what is it? The seductive forest.
Yeah.
Like all of these things she controls. So I mean, she pretty much runs everything. She has her own little world.
Yeah. This is when Luffy and Chopper, they eat Pudding's cafe because it's made out of chocolate.
I love seeing Chunky Chopper.
Yeah.
I love him.
Pudding shows up and guys, Pudding got me, dude. I got.
You got
Never in a million years. I bought into it hook, line, and sinker. This
just
pudding,
like she knew
this
you
pudding
would.
bullshit. This pudding facade.
Oh.
She walks in all cute like, and she forgives him. She's like, "Oh, I hired him to eat the cafe."
Like, oh, you like my food?
Yeah.
Oh, that means so much to me.
And she's talking about how hard she worked on the recipe and how much she likes cooking. And I can't help
Brooke's
but
like,
think,
this is such a sweet girl. Everyone's like, what a sweet girl.
and this is the moment where I'm thinking, like, damn, maybe Sanji should marry her. I
Yeah,
think that's why
maybe
Oda
she
had
settled
to
down.
Oda had to make her evil, dude, because she was just too perfect.
Yeah.
She
Too
was too
sweet.
perfect. Yeah, too sweet.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
You still got a lot queued up.
I still
know.
have a lot, yeah.
Also, when they're walking around town, Pedro's walking around town, people in the town know him, and he kind of shuts somebody up. And Pedro's another character. Like, you talk about Carrot and Chopper as a duo. Pedro and Brooke as a team I want them to be together all the time. I want them to go on so many adventures together. I want them to be best friends, and I want Carrot and Chopper to be best friends too. I mean, what a perfect pairing.
I know.
Perfect pairing these two were.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun.
They were a highlight for me. Just seeing them together and how they worked together was a highlight for me. It cuts to Mom for a second. Mom, she's partying in what is it? Tota Land? Is that how you say it?
I think isn't that what it's all called?
Well, there's like Sweet City and there's all these places.
Where she
and Whole
lives.
Cake Island is like, yeah, maybe it's all Tota Land. Look, there's also going to be a lot of names of food and food-related things, but I ain't a culinary expert, okay? I'm going to mispronounce a lot of these names for these fancy-ass foods because I'm a Carl's Jr. boy, okay? I'm a Hardee's boy, yeah. Before that, I'm not ashamed to say that I like McDonald's. I like Jack in the Box, okay? If I could have, I also like quality food too.
I like quality food like Wendy's.
And that's what I'm talking about. And don't take this the wrong way, but when you said that, you kind of look like Wendy now. If Wendy was Nami, that's what you look like. Anyway, moving on.
I want Wendy's now.
Let's go get Wendy's after this, dude, for real.
Yeah, for real. Huh?
No joke.
Yeah, actually, I'm not joking at all.
I'm not either. Okay. So that's when we find out the true scope and scale of all this. Mom has 39 daughters, 46 sons,
85 siblings.
I wrote down 86. Maybe it's 85.
85
children in total.
Children on the wall. 43 husbands.
Yeah, she is getting around.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Big Mom must be exhausted, dude. She must be like on the verge of collapsing every time she moves because this woman has been around. This woman has been shipwrecked from head to toe.
Yeah, I can imagine. Even one of them.
Yeah, she's giving birth to all kinds of kids too. She's not just giving birth to human babies. She's giving birth to fish people. She's giving birth to different species. This woman is crazy. This woman's womb looks like a freaking. What's a really populated area? Like a really like a place that has a lot of people in it.
Anime Expo 2022.
Okay, her womb looks like Anime Expo 2022, where everybody's crammed in there, can't even walk around.
Yeah.
Thank you, Megan.
No problem.
It's a little dated reference, but it's going to be when people watch this a year from now.
Look up the pictures. Tell me if it's dated. Yeah, Big Mom. I mean, she lives up to the name. She's big and she's a mom.
She's a mom.
She's a mom.
Astute observation.
Thank you.
It's
It's a theory that I have.
Confirmed. I also think that it's interesting, that she has all these children from all these different races. I get her goal. We don't know much about her backstory yet. We don't know anything. We know the existence of Mother Caramel, but we don't know exactly what happened, and we don't know exactly
what the relevance of that and
why it affects her the way it does.
But
we do know that she has later on something with the giants. But it is interesting because there's a line. And I know I keep saying, we'll get to it, but I'm reminded of all these things. And I just feel like if I don't talk about them, then I'm going to forget them. There's a line. It's interesting that she's, breeding and having all of these children with all of these different species and races, because she talks about getting tricked and bamboozled by Roger at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
yes, she goes, I'm not going to get tricked like I did with Roger. I might have it written down somewhere. Shoot.
I think because, she says she wants to be she wants everybody in the world to be like one big family, and she wants everybody to sit eye level at the table. But I also really think that it's because she's trying to create something.
Well, it's like he used the voice to call, all of things, to read it, the Poneglyph. I have a secret weapon of my own that will wield that eventually, which is Pudding.
Yes.
Pudding has the third eye. We've never really seen a Cyclops before.
Well, Cyclops has one
Cyclops, what is it, Triclops?
I guess, a three-eyed person.
Three-eyed person.
Yeah.
We've never really seen that. So she's like, I'm only half. She goes, I'm only half. That it is not like a guarantee that I'll have it awakened. So are these three-eyed people, able to read Poneglyphs like that, just at the top of a hat?
Or not necessarily read Poneglyphs, but hear the voice of all living things.
Yeah. So it's like that whole race of people. Like, where are they? Were they erased with the void of history? Like, why is Pudding the only one? Like, it is interesting.
Because so far, we've only seen Luffy, Shirahoshi, and our boy, Momonosuke, be able to communicate and hear the voices of all living things. Well, with Shirahoshi specifically, the Sea Kings and Neptunians.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, if Pudding is able to do it, or even if she's not, the fact that Big Mom thinks that, and who's Pudding's dad? You know what I'm saying? Like all these questions were raised just with that one sentence, and this arc seems to do that a lot.
Yeah.
So getting back on track. Pudding is still playing the good guy, makes the Straw Hats a map to get to Whole Cake unnoticed, and we cut back to the ship when they come back. Peacoms is gone, and there's a message scratched into the bathroom wall that says, "Turn back, turn back." Mama has a fit in Sweet City.
She wants her croquium bouche.
That's another thing I wasn't even going to attempt to say.
Well, they do Great British Baking Show. There is a challenge where they have to make that. So you could say I'm an expert.
I'm going to be 100% honest. Every bit of knowledge that I have on anything that they talked about in Whole Cake Island food-wise, I got from the Great British Bake Off.
Gotta watch it.
Fantastic.
Great.
It's a bit stodgy.
It's a bit stodgy. It's a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about.
It's a bit dry.
That's what I was saying about.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
You got a soggy bottom.
Oh, you got a soggy bottom. You got a soggy bottom. Brulee. You got a soggy bottom, and it's a bit stodgy. Your cream,
it's a bit stodgy, but the flavors are there.
Yeah. Yeah, so glad I watched Bake Off before reading Whole Cake Island.
Yeah, maybe you want sweets.
Oh, man. We were really thinking about getting cupcakes before, but maybe the next episode. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, she's going on a little rampage all around town.
Oh, yeah. She is she is completely, she is, her whole self is gone. She's like, where's my croquium? I could be pronouncing it wrong. Boosh,
And this is where we see her powers on display a little bit. She takes the lifespan of her son.
One of her sons.
One of her many sons.
She has so many now. She's probably like a dime a dozen. I can make another one next year or right now.
Yeah. Maybe she can even, I don't know, maybe she wants the Germa technology so she can just start growing these motherfuckers too. I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. She's like, why have I not had this before? I had to birth all these kids.
Yeah, she's like, I'm tired of giving birth.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, she put her real blood, sweat, and tears.
T-I-E-R-S. Mehgan. Mehgan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's ruthless, heartless, and we get to see her powers on full display. And we're like you were saying, her powers are crazy. Her powers are insane.
Wild.
The soul fruit.
Soul fruit. She could put anything. She could put souls into anything and pretty much give them sentience. She's really, Roger Rabbit, cartooning the whole world up.
Yeah,
they live with toons. They live amongst toons.
Yeah, they live in Toontown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Toontown meets Candyland.
Yeah. Ooh, Candyland's a fun game.
Okay, let's not get too off track.
Sorry, I really like Candyland, even though it's kind of basic. Oh well. Anyway.
But that's
Jinbei!
when Jinbei shows up to save the day, and again, seeing him, and we saw Aladdin kind of calling him, telling him that the Straw Hats were there a little bit earlier. But seeing Jinbei again, there's so many characters that we are introduced to and then leave. Law. We get to spend all this time with him. Leaves. Jinbei gets to spend all this time with him. Leaves. I'm so glad that Jinbei's back, and I hope with all my heart that he's here to stay this time because he said he was going to join the crew, and I hope
at once
he
finished his duty elsewhere.
This is all he had to do, right?
Yeah.
I hope he stays.
Well, I mean, we see that confirmation. I think we see that when he is talking about Luffy, wanting to. He believes that he's going to be the king of the pirates. He does say, I would willingly die for my captain, Straw Hat Luffy.
I love Jinbei, but Jinbei's always got someone to go apologize to. Or,
that's why they say it in this arc. They're like, live your life.
No, I know. I'm just saying that as a joke.
People.
I love Jinbei.
So many people are like, Jinbei, stop this madness. Go do your shit. Go do your own shit. He's like, but I. I'm like, Jinbei, I swear to God.
He's like, Jinbei, you've done everything for us. Everything. Do something for yourself. Do something for you, Jinbei, please.
They had him a little a massage coupon.
Spa.
Yeah, spa day. Little hot rocks on his back.
He deserves it.
He
dude.
deserves the world.
So he shows up and we see that he's there and he's still in good standing with Big Mom.
And we find out that he was the one who gave her the Poneglyph.
Oh yeah, and that's why I think people were telling us to pay really close attention to the cover pages because he was doing all that. On the cover pages. So we get a little flashback, like we just kind of covered, of Jinbei talking to everybody, the Sun Pirates, and them telling him, live his life. You've done so much. Everything you've done has been for our kingdom, has been for fish people.
Live your life, bro.
Live your life. So after that, we find out too at this moment that Aladdin is married to one of Aladdin being one of Jinbei's. I think Jinbei's right-hand man is married to one of Big Mom's daughters,
Charlotte Praline.
I
love her. I love her design.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's a hammerhead shark, half mermaid. She is awesome. She looks so cool.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely. Her design is cool, and she's cool, and I do love her, and she does seem to really like Aladdin, and a lot of Charlotte's kids, Big Mom's kids, seem to some of them seem very loyal, but there are a handful that do seem like they've been mistreated and have had enough.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But I do still wonder. I'm still a little on the fence about her. I wonder if she's going to pull a pudding on us.
I hope not.
We'll see. But that's when Jinbei goes to Big Mom and he asks to leave. And all we see is her pull out this roulette wheel.
Say less.
And we see numbers, we see limbs, body parts, we see
skulls.
Yeah, we can kind of get a vibe. We kind of know what's going down.
Well, is it life or leave?
Yeah. That's when we cut back to the Straw Hats and Pedro having a conversation with Luffy. This is a very important thing too. Like we said, Jinbei is recognizing that Luffy is going to be the ruler of the sea. Not just that, but Pedro is telling Luffy that Dogstorm and Cat Viper, they saw Roger in Luffy. Pedro's like, when I noted, they showed you the road Poneglyph. They haven't done that since Roger. They see Roger in you. They believe in you. So when I saw that, I knew I had to help in any way I could. And he talks about the importance of not just rescuing Sanji, but getting the Poneglyph, which Brook and Pedro set off to do. As far as they know, there's one Poneglyph there, another road Poneglyph that they have to get. But even that reveal about Big Mom having way more than just one Poneglyph in her possession was absolutely insane to me. Absolutely, the number of Poneglyphs she had. Robin would have a field day. Robin would be like, yeah. Robin would have got a nosebleed. It would have been Fishman Island all over again.
Yeah.
She would have passed out. Thank God she didn't go. She walked into the room with all those Poneglyphs.
She'd have been done.
Hell no.
Would've been over.
R.I.P. Robin.
R.I.P. Robin.
Her eyes would have rolled back in her head.
Yeah.
She would have been done.
Yeah.
So that's when they go into the seducing woods, and we see the guy buried in the ground. And
oh my gosh,
that's where we meet like the talking forest, the homies, the doppelganger reflections, and Randolph.
You know me.
I wasn't even on me, but still, the camera switching was off, but it's fine.
You know me. I probably would have loved Randolph. He's bad guy, but he's cute.
Yeah, Randolph.
He's a little musketeer.
Schmandolph, you know?
He's a little musketeer rabbit.
Yeah, I guess.
With a soul. He's not a minx. He's a actual rabbit.
That was interesting too, you know. And as of this recording, you know, we had to move some things around, just a little behind the scenes, and record this a little earlier than we usually do. Usually, our previous episode would have already come out by now, and we would have got, you know, some people, because we posed a couple questions, and I don't know if they got answered as of this recording, but I was talking about in the last episode minks and their ability to use electro.
Yes.
And what that is. I was kind of thinking, and maybe it's just Enel or Naru or whatever. Maybe I was just kind of thinking of him because he was using electricity, but maybe they have no connection.
It was funny, Tekking said, I like to think that it's because of their fur.
Static that's
shock.
Funny. That's funny. But yeah, I'm still so curious here, but that's why she's able to tell that Randolph is not a mink, that he's just a rabbit with a soul. Yeah. But you really liked him, huh? You fancied him.
I just thought he was cute. He's like a little rabbit in this little musketeer outfit. I don't know.
Yeah, he was like the I'm late, you know, the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland.
Exactly, that fool. God.
Yeah, that fool. Can't even show up on time.
What a fucking narc.
Idiot. Idiot narc.
Idiot fucking narc bozo.
Yeah, bozo clown.
Yeah,
Yeah, Schmandolph.
Yeah, Schmandolph bitch.
I like it. So that's when we meet Brûlée, and we find out that she's the one creating all these doppelganger reflections.
Yeah, which we find out. I mean, this is a whole thing.
This is a whole thing, and again, that's why we're kind of going through it.
Yeah, I mean, we find out that they're actually animals that are made to look like the Straw Hats. We see Sanji, it's not Sanji. We see Pudding, it's not Pudding. This goes on for a while. And it continues to happen for quite some time.
Yeah, it goes on for a while, and we finally find out that she's reflecting these images back onto these animals, causing it to look like they are Sanji or Luffy or whoever.
And she's one of the first kids that I've seen that actually looks like Big Mom a bit.
Okay, she looks kind of witchy.
She has the nose, Big Mom's nose. I don't know. She just reminded me of Big Mom a lot.
She's probably, of all the kids that we meet, one of my favorites, man. Just the mirror world thing is so sick.
Yeah, and the way they used it was so smart. And it was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. And this is such a creative and imaginative. I mean, every arc is. Half the shit that Oda, writes, I just don't know where in the hell he gets any of it from. But even here, I'm like, I don't know why I was just so enchanted.
I was enchanted, and Nolan actually recommended, and I was checking the translation, and it looked pretty accurate. The colored version.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people read the colored version, Nolan included. I think he read
Megan's cousin, been on the episode before.
Yes, Nolan the Liar.
Yes.
And it was amazing. I mean,
what an arc to read in color.
I had to. I don't know if I'll ever, do it again. I want to complete it in color because it is so amazing. And we watched some of the anime too, some of the scenes, an episode, and the color just adds so much.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say that, and I don't know what that opinion will be.
Yeah, I wonder how many people read it in color.
Yeah,
or
I'm curious. Let us know.
I'm sure there might even be some people who weren't aware. I was not aware at all that it was fully colored
and beautifully. I mean, it's not just stodgy.
It's not stodgy. It's a bit stodgy, but
it's not stodgy at all. It's actually very well cooked.
We cut back to Sanji and his sister, and they're looking. And the only reason I mention this because I can't help but think that they're maybe I'm looking too into things. I think that's the danger of One Piece. Sometimes you start looking too into things.
Yeah.
But they're staring at the portrait of the conquest of 4 nations, the incident where Germa vanquished 4 kings of the North Blue all at once. I tried to look at the kings in the portrait and see if we had seen them before, if they looked familiar, and I couldn't really tell. But I just can't help but feel like this holds some sort of significance. Maybe it's just to show, Judge's what he's trying to attain again, because this was like the glory days of Germa, and maybe he's just trying to recreate that, and maybe this is just to show the kind of guy that he is. But I was looking hard.
You were deciphering the Poneglyph.
I'm reading One Piece now like freaking Nico Robin.
You are.
I am. So this is where Sanji sees his dad for the first time. Not for the first time, but for the first time in this arc, or for the first time we've seen him see his dad. Vinsmoke Judge. And this guy, like we said in the beginning, very big Endeavor vibes, this guy.
Yes.
Endeavor before Endeavor, or maybe not, but either way. In aesthetic and in attitude.
Definitely. He's like, he's like Judge, more like Fudge, this hoe.
Okay, I'll accept it. And that's when they have a little bit of a duel, Sanji versus Judge.
And I liked finding out, like, Sanji's like a quintuplet. Like, what is it, 4?
We thought
3. He has 3 other brothers, and they're all born at the same time. That's wild.
Yeah, we heard he was the 3rd son of the Vinsmoke family, and just assumed that meant that he was
different ages,
the youngest, but or that there was just 3 sons. But there are 4, and a total of 5 with their sister, which was crazy too. It's a small thing, but I was kind of shocked too.
Yeah.
But they have a huge fight, and it's crazy to see Sanji how strong Sanji has gotten. You don't forget, but when you see him, go toe to toe with his dad, and you want Sanji, like you're like everything in your heart, everything in you is rooting for Sanji to just beat the shit out of his dad.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Of course.
And how many of us, how many
just
of us
want to beat the shit out of their dads?
have wanted to go toe to toe with our fathers at some point. But that's when he has a mini flashback, not a big flashback, but a little flashback of just getting the shit kicked out of him as a kid, being called a failure. And after this epic battle between the two of them, where we do get to see Sanji's dad's like technology on display a little bit too.
Yeah.
And we get to see just how ruthless the Vinsmokes are in terms of like their soldiers. Before we know what they are, they're making like human shields. He's using them as human shields and stabbing through them. It's pretty crazy. But he tells Sanji that he never wanted to marry. He wants of course, and we haven't explicitly stated it, but I feel like it'd be weird to have to, but here we are anyway. And then of course, the marriage is happening because Big Mom wants the Germa 66 power and the Vinsmoke family power, so we think on her side, and they want Big Mom and her power on their side. But he says that I would never. She's a pirate. She's an emperor.
She's a scoundrel. She's a crazy lady. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would never marry any of my sons that I actually care about.
Yeah, you're my sacrifice.
Yeah, you're my sacrifice.
I remember that I had an extra, straggler.
Yeah.
So I called you up.
Yeah.
And now you're here. And if you try to escape, I'll murder
everybody
precious,
that you ever cared about. Yeah.
I'll kill your precious Zeph. I was like,
yeah, okay. A little hot, Dad. A little out of pocket, Dad. A little wild.
I mean, does that surprise you? No, this fool is wild.
Yeah.
He's just wild. Like he's crazy.
Then Sanji's sister puts these cuffs on Sanji, that because of course Sanji's hands are so precious to him, and they really do such a good job. Oda does such a good job of really making it impossible for Sanji to escape. Like there's no way.
Yeah.
Even as a reader, sometimes we read things, we watch movies, we're like, oh, just do this, just do that, just do that. I mean, there is no way out of this. His hands, if he tries to take these things off,
his hands are tied.
His hands are tied. They will explode. Zeph will die. The Straw Hats will die. I mean, this man can't do anything, and it feels incredibly hopeless.
I mean, it's a bad situation any way you slice it.
That's good, Mehgan.
Thank you.
That was good. High five.
Boom!
Oh, okay.
Hands exploded.
A little too excited now.
Ah!
Dial it back.
God damn it.
That's when we cut to Pedro and Brooke. And this was just a funny moment. They think that they're sneaking around. They think that nobody notices. And everybody is fully aware of every move
They
they're
know
making.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, again, we are not seeing warlord shit. We are seeing emperor shit.
Yeah.
Of course she would know that they're there.
Mhm.
Of course she would be 5 steps ahead of these guys because she is an emperor. She is she is doing her shit. She has people to deal with it, so she doesn't have to.
Yeah. That's when we cut to Capone, and we find out that Capone not only has a wife, but he has a little kid too.
Got a little
He has
Capone.
a little kid, a little Capone. And he's, poor Peacombs. Again, he's got Peacombs at the edge of a cliff,
Yeah.
giving him one more chance, and inevitably and ultimately just lighting him up once again.
Now, what does he
Off
say
the edge of
before
the cliff.
Peacom falls?
Peacombs, you had one chance. You had one chance. I offered you a spot on my team, Peacombs, but you had to go be noble. How's that working out for you, Peacombs? Light 'em up, gang. Get 'em out of my sight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Shoots him off a cliff.
Yeah. Very dramatic.
Very dramatic. This is when Big Mom confronts Caesar, and we find out that her dream is for all people and races around the world to be a family and sit at the table at the same eye level, and that she was the reason that Caesar in Punk Hazard was working on this gigantic drug to make kids gigantic, although Caesar himself did not believe that you could make people into giants.
From the very start. I mean, that's why
Yeah.
he took her money and was like, yeah, it's a pipe dream. There's no way you're going to be able to do that because it's not possible. So he took all the money and then he used the excuse, law and Luffy. They destroyed the facility. All of my work was in this, and there's no way I can replicate it with it has to be that lab, and you don't have another lab. I'm so sorry. Playing her up.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, I actually made a lab exactly like the one in Punk
He's like,
Hazard. So when
Fuck,
can you
what
start?
are the chances of that?
Yeah, when can you start? Like immediately. And it's funny because like Caesar is, we see him later. He's still treated like
Bro.
not a good guy. They all hate him still because
Yes.
we see One Piece villains get kind of redeemed from stuff that they do, like Luffy, whatever. But like no, this guy's a scumbag, scum of the earth, like hilarious. But he needs them more than ever because
Yeah. But we do, and I don't know how, but I do end up towards the end
you like him.
coming around to this guy.
No, he literally was like killing children.
I know he's a monster. He's a monster, and he must be stopped. But at the end, dude, when he was pretending to be a gangster and going by a different name, that shit was so funny. And I was like,
I mean,
Caesar's
Nami's
fucking
reaction.
dope.
Nami's reaction is like, don't, this guy sucks. And every time she said that, you like cry and
Yeah.
like be upset. I'm like, why are you upset? You literally suck.
This is where, so everything that Mehgan said, he has to continue his research, keep working on this drug that
Like
he
immediately. She wants it like
believes is,
ASAP.
impossible to make. And then it cuts to, for a moment, we see this life. It looks like a life ceremony, but it's like an offering that happens twice a year where everybody who is a part of this territory has to, it's leave or life.
Leave or life. Like what?
And they have to either leave, which I assume is impossible and you can't do, or give some of their lifespan. And that is, we've already talked about it, but that is how Big Mom creates all these sentient beings.
Yes.
Because she takes life from people twice a year, and she puts it into all these things.
Wow.
So crazy and so like unique, and something I have literally, and I've never seen it. I can't say that like I ever expected to see anything like this ever. This is absolutely insane. Insane.
And I did want to point something out too. I don't know if you noticed this, but we're seeing a lot of characters that we haven't seen in a long time. We get to see Shanks. And it was interesting in one of the cover pages.
Oh, right.
And it
Shanks and
says-
Buggy as kids.
Not that.
Okay.
It said something about a wedding.
Oh, it says something about Shanks' wedding?
Not Shanks' wedding in particular, but it said like, he's at a wedding. He was kind of looking a little sharper than usual.
Oh, I must have missed that cover page.
I don't know. maybe they'll probably tell me like it was the guy in the back, the far back in the right hand corner, like it was his wedding.
right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just like, oh, interesting. I mean, with like the news of Film Red, it's like.
Yeah. I mean, it probably definitely wasn't Shanks' wedding, but who knows? And I missed that, so I'm glad that you caught that and pointed that out. So we also learned about the soul fruit, and we learn that the man cutting back to the forest. We learned that the man in the ground is Lola's dad and mom's ex-husband, which is so funny. The moment where they dig him up and they're like, I thought you were a giant because he's just all upper torso and he's just got little tiny legs. So funny. He's also just, I think, endeared to Nami after that because Nami's like, I'm friends with Lola. Me and Lola are BFFs.
Lola gave me this.
Yeah.
And that changed the game. I mean, she had control over all of these fuckers. And she goes, which one's scarier, Big Mom or me? And they're like, you. Yeah. I love Nami just like how, she's just badass. She's just headstrong.
She's so sick. This is when, and I'm sorry if it feels like we're speeding through things, but there's just so much to cover. This is when Cracker shows up, and we find out that not only Carrot has been, at this point, captured in Brulee's mirror world, but Chopper has also been captured and is in Brulee's mirror world as well. That's when, Nami uses the Vivir card that Lola gave her to control the homies who can feel Big Mom's powerful soul from the paper. That's kind of how they explain that. Then we get the whole Luffy versus Cracker scene.
Awesome. I mean, I love that line. He goes, I don't know any other way to fight other than serious. I was like,
yeah.
Come on, Luffy.
And this specifically is where I started to feel this power, the power that these people had more than ever. And like we said in the beginning, others have tried and failed. I mean, it was around this time that I really started to feel how just impossible this all felt.
I mean, it's no cakewalk.
Okay. Keep them coming. That's when Luffy, goes Gear 4 for a second, breaks through Cracker's armor. We see his true identity. Chopper and Carrot, they're planning to use the mirrors to their advantage in Mirror World because they find out that all the mirrors are connected. Every mirror every mirror in Mirror World is connected to a real mirror.
Yes,
in the
it's
real
somewhere
world.
On what's it called?
Whole Cake Island.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's when we cut back to Vince, Smoke, Ichi, and Niji. And they arrive at Whole Cake Island, and they're having a dinner with Sanji. And this was a moment that even me and you both, when we read this, we both, as we were talking about it, we were like, did you get to that part yet? And we're like, what part? And you're like, the part where Sanji's brothers beat the shit out of that waitress? We were both shook.
Dude.
We were both like,
because I knew they were evil. I know they beat up Sanji as a kid. It's just brother shit,
Yeah.
It's like, this is just kid shit. You get the shit beat out of you.
Yeah, you whoop on your younger siblings, dude. Yeah. You get a little whooped on, dude. No big deal.
A little bullying going on, but then, you get past it.
Yeah.
These fools, obviously knowing the context now, they had superhuman strength. They were on the level of they're grown men. Beating the shit out of Sanji. It wasn't kids beating up kids with kid strength. They were strong. And Sanji was not that strong. But also, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, it is like celestial dragons. Germa 66. I mean, they are evil.
They're just
people.
missing 1/6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Go on.
That part really, really, I mean, again, Sanji, they were complaining about the food. He goes, hey, you didn't finish your food.
Yeah.
Oh, this crap? No, I'm not going to finish this at all. This is shit. Hey, did you eat this? I mean, did you eat this? Did you make this? Yeah, whatever. And he goes to chuck it at her face for fun. Sanji stops it and it's like, how dare you? And then he's picking up the pieces off the floor to eat it. Bro, again, like I said, highlight. I wrote this down, highlight for me. This moment, I just reinvigorated my love for Sanji. I hope it stays. I hope we see more of this, and I just wanted to continue after Whole Cake Island, and I am just so happy to see the side of Sanji again. But yeah, damn, dude. I mean, after all of that, we see them eventually just behind closed doors like beat the shit
Well,
out of this girl.
that's what I was talking about. When we see her again and she's
I was
like
just building
face
up the content.
swollen, like
Dude, on the floor.
that was
Disturbed.
Like, I was disturbed. I was like, this is graphic, dude. They really did a number on this poor girl.
And
man.
Sanji's like, he's so cute. I mean, he's really just like complimenting her on her food. And you cook this to perfection. The seasoning's so good. And she's like crying because of the treatment she's receiving. Like, poor girl. Cassette, you're a real one. You were only in for, a couple panels, but
shout out.
Shout out
You
to
deserve
Cassette.
better. You deserve better.
Yeah, you do.
You deserve better, girl. Sanji then gets shown the room that the super soldiers basically are in. This is where things get crazy, right? And all the theories start popping up.
It was wild. He was just like, okay, like they're explaining it to him. Like, oh, look at this, we could, grow this. And he goes, just stop. Like, I'm literally going to be sick. Like,
well, I want to know if any of it has any significance because we got the MB54 units, right? We got the...
Yes.
So of the type MB, 54. Of the type Mist, we got 30. What does that mean? Type MB? What is that? What does MB stand for? And what is Mist? Can they break down and turn into mist? Are they mist? Are they mist soldiers? Because we know that Vegapunk was also with this bloodline thing. He was also tapping into artificial devil fruit's abilities. I don't know what mist means. And then we got the MH21 units. I mean, they're all soaking in this bioculture liquid. This is absolutely insane. We talked about it a lot in the beginning, so we won't spend too much time here, but man, we find out that Germa is the nation of science. And like we said, Sanji's father developed weapons with Vegapunk. This is so crazy because of the implications and what it could possibly mean. Like my mind, I was buzzing when I was reading this because what we saw with the everything we saw in Punk Hazard and Caesar's connection to Vegapunk and artificial devil fruits and, this bloodline element, like Vegapunk's great discovery of bloodline elements in living things. And how they describe it is in living things, nearly a step into the realm of godhood. In essence, he was able to find the blueprints of life.
Bro, what?
This man is God. This man can alter DNA. Like the significance of Vegapunk as the series goes on, I just don't, I didn't expect this. I don't understand. Like, he has to be so significant to the end game of this series and so instrumental to how things are going to shake out at the very end of all of this, because literally wording it, stepping into the realm of godhood and finding the blueprints to life. Can you imagine? I mean, Frankie's kind of tapped into some of his, inventions and stuff, but can you imagine when and if the Straw Hats ever come across him, and when and if they ever ally with him or help, he helps them in any way. Like, this man is godly. I mean, wild. Anyway,
I know he's connected. I mean, he is connected to so many things that we've been introduced to so far. Yeah,
everything.
I'm so excited to see the payoff that Oda has planned for him.
And we've seen some people say, even
now. I mean,
Wano, we still haven't
That's
seen
why
this
I'm
guy.
so excited. I mean, there must be something. I mean, it's gonna be, the One Piece community is gonna go crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And like I said, my mind is fucking running wild. I can't stop thinking about Vegapunk. I can't stop.
Dr. Vegapunk.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Nope, he's not diet. He's the real doctor.
He's the real Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
With, what is it, 49 ingredients? 69 ingredients?
Let's just say 69.
60. Let's just say 69.
So, yeah, anyway, copying and augmenting life itself, creating these super fighters, the clone soldiers. A lot of people were also saying that, this felt like the Empire from Star Wars with the clone troopers or whatever. But fun fact, even in Star Wars, the Empire was based on Nazis. So, I mean,
that's a fun fact.
I mean, it's not a fun fact, but it's a fact.
They just say it's a fact.
It's not fun. It's a little interesting fact, I'll say. I guess all facts, well, that's not true. Not all facts are interesting. But I did hear, bless his heart, dude. This guy I know online had all the best intentions in the world. Bless this guy's heart. If for whatever reason the world is a crazy place, if he ever listens or sees this, I know he wasn't trying to be any kind of way. And he even went on to like restate it later in his comment, but he said something along the lines of like, yeah, everybody compares like, German 66 to Nazis, but I think they're like the Empire from Star Wars. He's like, because when you really think about it, like the Empire, they're way worse than the Nazis, dude. And what they did and all the stuff that they did was like way worse than Nazis. Like, and he went on and just kept saying and kept reinforcing how like horrible the Empire is. And like, it makes the Nazis like not even look that bad. Like, and then at the end he goes like, I realize I'm not trying to take away from the horrific things that the Nazis did. And I was like, I know you're not, but
yeah,
dude,
but you're
come on.
Yeah.
Like
these fictional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was just kind of funny. And I was like, bless this guy's heart. He doesn't mean to do what he's doing.
And he said that he didn't, but.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm not trying. I know how this kind of sounds, but. And I was glad that nobody really attacked him because his heart was pure. It was just the way he was wording it,
Yeah, for sure.
But that's when we find out the government arrested Vegapunk, leading me to believe that some of my theories are starting to be a little more than just theories. And we learned the 5-year thing, that it takes 5 years to create a 20-year-old soldier, and that the soldiers themselves have no idea. That's a very important fact to remember, too.
Yes.
Then Sanji's brothers whoop his ass.
Whoop his ass again.
That's when we get Sanji's long backstory and flashback.
Literal test subject.
Yeah. That all his brothers were test subjects, that they were augmented with this bloodline, these bloodline elements, which is crazy. What does that even like?
I know.
What does that even imply? And I do believe we haven't even got to the end of Whole Cake Island yet. And I don't know if it's stated here or if it ever comes back, but even though they keep saying that it didn't work, it didn't take with Sanji, I don't know how it wouldn't. And I just can't help but think that, Sanji is like them and he just hasn't unlocked it yet, or it hasn't reared its head yet. But I can't help but think that it just has to be the case, because they say that they were born with the powers of advanced science, exoskeletons, and the manipulation of bloodline elements, but it didn't take with him, and he was the only one with his emotions still intact.
Yeah.
This man, on some level, Sanji has to have some of these traits himself. Do you
on
think
some
that?
level,
Do you
yeah,
think
on
that?
some level, or it might just be he didn't.
Maybe.
And that's what makes him different. I mean, it is cool to see like an example of Usopp.
Right.
An example of Zoro, Sanji. Like these are human beings.
You're right.
Nami, of course, but I wouldn't be surprised.
You're right.
If it
though.
hasn't been
It
awakened
does,
or anything like that.
it does make him more special. Like the fact that he is just human.
Yeah, that's what she says too. Like you got. I forget the line, but she's his sister's talking about his mom, and like you're different from them because that's what makes you, stand out, special, like you said.
Yeah. So yeah, that's when we find out the whole horrific backstory of Sanji, the backstory before the backstory, and that other than just being a failure, called a failure by his father went so far as to fake this boy's death and put him in. This is a man in the Iron Mask situation.
Hannibal Lecter. He Hannibal Lectered him.
Imprisoned him.
Poor baby.
Poor baby. His fate, his backstory, like you said, the one we already knew of, was terrible enough. Now he's got this on top of all that. Like, I guess that first backstory was nothing compared to this. God damn. I mean, he was literally locked up and put. I mean, did you ever see The Man in the Iron Mask? Wonderful movie.
Wonderful movie.
It's a wonderful movie. You gotta watch it.
It's a wonderful movie. You gotta get on your way to watch this film. It's one of the best films I ever seen in my days.
That's a good. I'm a fan of the voice, but it's
It's
not
one
the
of the
best
best
movie I've
films, right?
seen. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but it's a
Well,
good
for
movie.
this guy, it's one of the best films I've
Oh,
ever
for this
seen in my
character,
life.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. I'm sorry.
No problem.
But this was all crazy, and this was just, again, it felt a little at first like, damn, this is out of left field.
It's out of control. It was out of control. And, Sanji's sister, she came around, I guess. But, at the time, I understand she's a kid. She doesn't want to be bullied, but she is stronger. I mean, not stronger, but she's on the same level as they are. It's like, bro, like, stand up for him just a little bit,
Yeah, but it's one of her against, what?
3.
3 of them. 4 of them, counting the dad, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? But, yeah, she's cool, but she's cool. She is.
Yeah, I mean,
She is.
yeah. It's like you learn, I guess, when you're a stupid kid.
But she's also like, yeah, I deserve to die too.
Yeah.
So,
that was
yeah.
lit. I
So-
liked that. It wasn't like, this whole thing like, I don't deserve to be saving. No, I'm going to save you. Okay.
Yeah.
It was
No.
like, no, I'm going to die with them because we all need to die
Yeah.
because we're monsters.
Yeah. And we find out in the flashback that she was the one who set him free. That's when we get the flashback of Sanji going to his mom, who's hospitalized or in some sort of, what do you call it when you go to a place, hospice? She's in like hospice care, and he brings her some food, drops it in the rain. We see this mirrored, not in the mirror world, but we see it mirrored, brulee. We see it mirrored. I say something else.
Stupid.
With Luffy later, which is really cool. So yeah, we find out that Sanji's sister was the one who set him free, and that's how he escaped and into the East Blue and went on to meet Zeph and the backstory that we know unfolded. This is when we're cutting back to Luffy, and Luffy is still fighting Cracker, and he eats all of Cracker's crackers and goes.
He's full. He goes tank stuffed version.
Yeah.
Tank man stuffed version.
Gear 4 Tank Man stuff version.
Mhm.
Bro, this is so funny. Like I said in the first episode that he did this, or the first time we talked about him doing this, never in my life, I've seen the figures, I've seen the pictures, never in my life did I expect it to be this hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, he just eats everything, and then this was so funny, and to see him just, like, again, in Gear 4, but just be, I'm not trying to body shame Luffy, all right?
Whoa.
But,
Whoa.
he was big. He was big. He was,
Whoa.
I'll say it.
Dude.
I'll say it.
That's so disrespectful.
I'll say it. He was fat. He got fat. Yeah, I'll say it. But, more power to him. More power to him. More to love. I just did think this was so funny.
Yeah.
And such a fun moment. And he's able to defeat Cracker at this point. Then we find out the mom controls the weather. She's got control of the weather with Zeus and Prometheus, who are these sentient clouds and
we find out that have her soul in it. So she has
they're extra powerful.
She has a hat, the clouds that have her soul in it. So there's no way they can be stopped, which was awesome to see. So she can, take souls, but she could also manipulate her own.
It's been said to nauseum, but again, her powers and what she can do with her powers are so crazy. And the fact that that Oda takes these powers and just thinks of every possible way someone could use these powers if they've been living with them for X amount of years, like thought and ways that no one else would ever think to use them. And the fact that even her soul gives more power to these things makes complete and total sense. And that she's using them to put them into things like clouds to control weather is incredibly creative and just 800, what are we, over 800 chapters in, and he's still amazing me with his creativity. I have not gotten used to it at all. I have not, become jaded by it at all. I'm just
It's never been capped.
It's
And it just overflows.
Yeah.
It's like a chocolate fountain of creativity.
How many more can you possibly have?
A lot. I'm just waiting for the right situations to use them in.
So then we finally get the heartbreaking moment, Sanji versus Luffy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, it just, like I said, it holds so much weight because it is so, mirrored to what his own father did to him in his situation. And, even Nami was taken back at what he was saying. And it's surprising that she bought it, but, Luffy didn't buy it for 1 minute. And he's letting him, get his shit rocked. And I like seeing that because, he fought Usopp, right? And he goes, you knew you couldn't win this fight, but he still fought back. He didn't fight back with Sanji.
That's a good observation.
And he learned something from Jinbei. Because Jinbei was like, if that's going to make you feel better, like, beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You know? And he
Yeah.
learned that.
Mehgan, damn. Go off, queen. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So we're seeing
Growth.
Yeah, growth. Obviously, we've seen so much growth in Luffy, but he's like, you know, learning from all these people and learning from his past experiences. And we're seeing that like firsthand with Sanji.
And he really is falling, you know, with every chapter more into the role of captain. Like he is becoming like, you know, a really competent, powerful, experienced captain. And it's just amazing to see. Yeah, I did feel like, you know, this, it kind of paralleled in a sense, I guess. It's a completely different situation, but just the fact that we saw him kind of go what he went through with Usopp, we kind of, another Straw Hat, we see him go through it with another Straw Hat, Sanji. So it did feel similar. But you're absolutely right, Mehgan, that he chose in this moment not to fight back. And I think you nailed it. And it's because of just how much he's grown and Jinbei playing a big part in that. Wow. Damn. Mehgan. Fuck. I'm shook.
It's the Nami.
It might be. Yeah, so that's when he refuses to fight back. He promises to wait there. And
I'll wait in this spot right here, right on this grass field.
Yeah.
Sanji's like,
and that he won't eat anybody else's food but his. Now this is a bold statement from Luffy.
From literally Luffy. Like, what?
It doesn't get any like crazier than that. Luffy can't say anything crazier than that. He can't promise not to do anything crazier and more out of character than I won't eat anybody's food. And Luffy comes across food, you know,
a handful of times
before he sees Sanji again and refuses it. And that is crazy. That shows this man's willpower. That shows this man's strength, dude. Wow. I wish I had that much willpower, you know, to not just be eating all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
hard.
just it takes time to learn.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Mm.
And this broke my heart too. Sanji in tears.
I know. Sanji really cried it out. I mean,
he did. And him
he's
just
going
being,
through
you know,
it.
doing the thing where he's telling everybody to go away and pretending to be mean and no one buying it and just being in tears, being broken, and Luffy
he
saying,
can't do anything. It's more frustrating. It's like he literally is just like stuck, and that feeling of like not being able to change your situation. It's like, ugh.
And Luffy saying to him that he can't become king of the pirates without him. Like,
wow.
Another huge statement. And again, I think comes from a lot of what he learned after Marineford.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
in his time with Jinbei, another thing he realized.
I mean, we already see it. When Nami wasn't there to be the navigator, they had to figure it out. When Sanji wasn't there to cook, they had to figure it out. Like, these are pivotal people on his crew that he's making. They're making up for his weaknesses, and there's no way he could have gotten this far without them. So he, obviously needs Sanji like 100%.
Yeah. He
not
needs,
just for cooking, but
no. He needs all of them, and they all need him. And that's what makes them just the perfect fucking crew, man. The perfect team. So then Sanji's on the way to dinner. So he goes to dinner with Big Mom and Pudding and the rest of his family. Pudding asks if he could speak to him in private. And she says, she starts, cue the waterworks. She starts crying. She starts, crying wolf, more like it. And, she's like, I don't want our marriage to be hell. Sanji, I don't want our marriage to be hell. Oh my God.
I want marriage to be hell.
And Sanji, being the freaking G that he is, he's like, you're my salvation.
Woo!
You know what, girl?
Not gonna lie. I was like, okay, Sanji.
Me too.
Okay, Sanji.
I mean, we saw him do this bullshit with Viola, but this is like different.
Yeah, it was like the
different.
setting. It was all like dark in the room. He's like holding her. I was like,
and he was just going through all these things, and he's saying like, man, I can't do this to her. And he calls her, what a smooth criminal, man. You are my salvation. How many people use that line after they read this?
yeah, I know.
And he says, let's get married tomorrow, girl.
Woo!
He had me wet. I was like, drenched. Good thing I'm not a devil fruit user. I would have drowned. I mean, I would have drowned. Sanji got me.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
This is when, sorry about that. Maybe that was a little too out of pocket. Sorry about that.
A lot out of pocket. Completely out of the pocket. It's on the floor.
Anyway, and I was on the floor. I was bussing. Anyway. Luffy's stubborn. He's not moving from his spot. And that's when Big Mom's kids show up. They trap Luffy and Nami in a book. Another absolutely creative devil fruit. Crazy.
Lit. And even Germa 6 is like, damn, she got people in there.
Yeah. Dude,
and
she's
even
going
they
through
were
her
kind
collection.
of like, yeah, she's literally like, so, and I have this animal and this animal. I'm like, she's such a kid.
Yeah.
Living out just like this fantasy world that she's created, and
No,
all
she
of
really
her
is.
children that adore her because she's, she has this like perfect family. Like the idea that she built this perfect family, like she's just playing house.
Yeah, but she's got power to back it up. And that's, I guess, all that matters, I guess. Yeah, this was crazy too. They get trapped in a book. Nami gets Mom's Vivir card taken. And that's when Sanji goes to Big Mom. And Big Mom says that if he follows through, no one will get hurt, that she'll let everybody go. Which is bullshit. But Sanji, of course, has no choice but to believe it, and does believe it. And if I was in his situation, I'd believe it too. I mean, what's the other option? I mean, come on. That's all you could do. This is where we get some freaking mind-blowing stuff, where we cut to Tamago in the treasury room or the treasure room or whatever. And, he's talking about the poneglyphs, and it's revealed here, I don't know if it's ever been stated before, but that there are 30, theoretically, or according to legend, or it's believed, I guess, that there are 30 poneglyphs in total that exist in existence. So how many have we seen? How many have been referenced? And, they've been kind of going through poneglyphs a little bit. And for any amount of poneglyphs that they were maybe lacking, number-wise, like the rest of them seem to be freaking here, dude. It's so crazy. Because out of the 30 poneglyphs, Big Mom is in possession of 13 poneglyphs. 13, almost half of the poneglyphs in existence. She has them.
Makes sense.
That's crazy.
She's strong as shit, and she has so many allies. All the marriages, all of the kids. I mean, she's playing the game.
She really is playing a game. This is when Tamago's like, yeah, we should boost security. And, Brooke and Pedro have that conversation. And Pedro agrees to be a decoy. That's when, Big Mom's showing off her book collection to Judge. And that's when Judge has the realization that, for all the species and people that are in, this land, there doesn't seem to be any giants. And he points that out, and Big Mom reacts to that. Yeah, she reacts to that very negatively.
She does not like that. And you know exactly what she doesn't like because she'll show it on her face.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
she's
we find out more about that later. We find out all about, well, I'm sure there's more to find out, but we find out why later. And
it just continues to get super intense. I mean, Luffy and Nami are captured at this point. Right? Right around this point. And Luffy's going crazy. Yeah. Well, I mean, even I think they've already been captured, but another thing that's stated here is Big Mom, they've already been captured, and Big Mom kind of wheels up this like transponder snail that looks like her, that's on this like mantle, that's dressed like her. She's like, listen, bitches. And she tells him that she's in possession. She's like, you remember Fishman Island? She's like, I'm in possession of the Tamate box from Fishman Island. And we all know what's inside of that. Exactly. And she's like, and I'm going to open it at the ceremony. I don't know why Neptune would give this away, but I can't even imagine all the treasures that are inside. I'm going to open it at the ceremony. And my jaw dropped. Yeah, I was like, lit. I was like, do it. Open it now. Open it now. See what happens. Open it in your private quarters. Yeah. Big ass mom. Oh. Big ass mom having ass mom. And Luffy's like, I don't care if you're emperor. I don't care what you are. I'm taking you down. Like, you're done. Like, I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to, this is such a powerful light. I'm not going to die in this place. I'm not going to die in a place like this. This is not the way I'm going to go out. And he's twisting his arms. They're locked up. Nami's literally like crying and bawling because he's hurting himself so bad. She's having to watch him like twist and turn and bleed all over the place. Like, it was traumatic as shit.
Yeah, it was crazy. And he really starts to go off even more when Pudding comes in and whispers something in his ear.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I don't know if this is right around the same time. Brooke, just killing it.
Oh, yeah. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, there's this moment too where, and it's obvious to us, and we know this, I think, as readers, but, when she's done kind of telling Luffy about the Tamate, I hope I'm saying that right, I'm probably not, box, she turns to Nami and she's like, and as for you claiming to be Lola's friend, she's like, I want Lola dead. I want that girl dead. Because if she would have followed through with what I had set up, she's like, then I would have defeated Kaido. I would have defeated Shanks. I would have been the king of the pirates.
Yeah.
So
I want her dead.
Like,
she's not my daughter anymore. I don't know why she's still claiming to be my daughter.
And so you're like, what the fuck did Lola do? And again, we find out later. That's the only thing I wanted to talk about. But you're absolutely right. Then we get to see Pedro versus the guards and Brooke versus the chess pieces, the peacekeepers. And that's what you were saying, him being just again, doing what is such, like, I can't express to you my excitement whenever I see Brooke. Brooke has this like ability to fight, and the things that he says during his fights and how he delivers these lines is just so like,
it's classy.
It's classy, but it's like also like metal, epic, intense. Like, it's just like, I mean, I am so, every time he comes on page or has a fight, like the way he speaks, like
you could say he speaks from the soul.
He speaks from the soul. Okay, you initiated that high five. What have we talked about it. But I just can't, I feel like I get butterflies, dude. Like, cause he's talking about, oh yeah, you have souls, Big Mom's soul in you, not Big Mom's soul, but you have, Big Mom has used her devil fruit on you and has taken, other people's souls and put it into you. Like, I'm the soul king. It's like, I almost like imagine him saying like, I'm the soul king, daddy-o. Like,
I'm the soul king, baby.
Yeah. Like, smooth, man. Brooke is like jazz. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just, I can't articulate it. This man has my heart. Man has my heart, my whole heart.
Oh.
But that was a highlight moment for me too.
Yeah.
Brooke saying like, you guys are baby souls, dude. I'm the soul king.
Yeah, baby souls.
Daddy-o. And I in my head, that's what he said.
And he does. I mean, he roughs him up a bit. That's like, she mentioned that the first time they've been hurt.
Yeah, he roughs him up a bit. He takes them all out, pretty much, I think. All of them except for Big Mom herself, because she pulls up.
She pulls up quick.
How the hell is in here? But that's, around the time that Pudding pays a visit to Luffy too, Luffy and Nami, and she whispers something in Luffy's ear. And she kind of turns away, and there's a panel of her looking at them, and she's got tears in her eyes. And I thought, bro, this is how hook, line, and sinker I bought this Pudding bullshit. I was like, oh, Pudding's gonna unalive herself.
Goodbye.
I was like, that's the only logical explanation, is that Pudding feels so bad about everything that's happening that she's gonna unalive herself, and that Luffy is
to solve the problem.
To solve the problem, and Luffy just is not gonna stand for that, and that's why Luffy's so
upset, because it's like Big Mom, like control, like her own children.
I was convinced that was what was happening.
Damn.
Couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah, I had really I was like, what did she say?
I really thought that was it. Carrot and Chopper are in the mirror world, but they escape from Brulee's grasp. But they're still in mirror world. They just escape her clutches, I guess. That's when we come back to Brooke. Big Mom comes after Brooke. And
she loves him.
She is obsessed.
Yeah.
Obsessed. Like me.
Yeah.
Me and Big Mom have one thing in common.
You have a lot of things in common.
What the fuck does that mean? Go off. Name another thing we have in common.
You like Brooke.
Love Brooke.
Love sweets.
Love sweets.
You have a lot of kids.
I have a decent amount of kids. Yeah.
Yeah. You have a lot of husbands too.
I have a lot of husbands. Yeah. A lot of ex-husbands.
Yeah.
Yeah. All my kids are behind me on my figure shop. yeah. Those are my
Imagine
kids.
people were like, wow, Josh's kids.
I know. I do imagine that someone's like, what?
I
I don't
mean-
think the world. I don't think the world wants that right now. I don't think the world wants Josh having kids right now at this moment in time. Maybe in the future, but in this moment in time, I don't know if the world's ready.
Yeah, they're not ready. They're not ready.
They're not ready. Yeah. Then we learn a little bit more about Pedro, and that Pedro had 50 years of his life taken, and that he does not
Snatched.
intend to return home. That he is there on basically kind of like a suicide mission.
Yeah.
You know? He's there. It's all or nothing for Pedro. That's when Luffy starts wanting to rip his hands off because of what Pudding said, and we get a little Pedro versus Tamago action. We find out a little bit about why Pedro lost an eye, Tamago lost an eye. From what I gather, Tamago,
An eye for an eye.
yeah, Tamago, Pedro took Tamago's eye, and then when Pedro was in front of Big Mom and his companion died, who was Beppo's father, maybe?
Maybe.
Zeppo?
Yeah, probably.
He was a polar bear mink named Zeppo.
It's probably his dad.
Dad, brother, something. Yeah. So yeah, he didn't have enough life. So Pedro had to give some of his, and I think he gave his eye to like shave a little off.
Yeah, she's like, I like your style.
Yeah. But that was a cool little Easter egg too. I was like, I wonder if that was his dad, his brother. I wonder what the relation was, but I
Yeah.
know they have to be related. This is when we get to the real heartbreaking stuff. And
Oh my gosh. I mean, he's like literally, I'm gonna cook for her. That's my sweet pudding. Like,
Mhm.
what?
yeah, dude.
That's like what?
And Sanji was like, he was finally accepting it and like gonna make the best out of it and making her this dinner. And he's being just so charming, where he's like, and he's being really cute, where he's like, Sanji, you went around and you made too much. It's all right. I'll eat the leftovers. He's just having this conversation with himself, but it's so cute.
Yeah.
And only to get his heart freaking shattered. Dude.
Yeah. Like literally shattered. Yikes.
But Sanji sees Pudding talking to his sister, and
Laughing.
we see her. Yeah, we see her third eye, and we find out that she is evil. She has been putting on a front, and that the Vinsmoke family are going to be put to death at the wedding, because all Big Mom wants is Germa 66. She does not want the Vinsmoke family anywhere near her. She wants to be in complete control of Germa 66.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, she like literally is, not unpredictable, but she'll turn on you like the drop of a hat. I don't know how they didn't see this coming.
Yeah. I guess that, their maybe judge thought there was at least some honor amongst thieves, but it turns out not. And we can tell that he was really taken aback.
Bro, that's what I'm
was-
saying. It was a
he
highlight.
He was broke. Was that the part that gave
Yes.
you chills? Really? I cannot wait to talk about that. So just to keep going forward, that's when we see Sanji breaking down, tears in the rain. That broke me because again,
Aw.
he can stand to be called a failure by everybody else, but when he hears Pudding say it to his sister, he shatters, man. And
Tears in the rain.
yeah, sounds like a song.
He's like lighting a cigarette, and he's just like cigarette in mouth, just like looking down at the ground, like bawling.
My heart broke for him. I hurt so much for him, and yeah, I did not expect to feel that emotion in that moment. And we all have different things we can relate to or whatever, but that
You've been there.
really hit me, dude. Like really, really, really hard.
Mm.
Yeah, man, crazy. Brooke, I wrote that down too. Brooke calls Big Mom a young lady. It really has nothing to do with anything, but I just thought it was funny. This is when Chopper and Carrot learn that they can talk to mirrors, so they start asking. Carrot's just drawing pictures of everybody. and showing them to the mirror.
They're all like beautiful.
Yeah. But that's what she's like, mirror, mirror on the wall, you know? And that's how they figure out that they can track like which mirrors are where and how they can track where everybody's at. But also it cuts back to her with Sanji's sister, and we find out that she has the memo fruit and can alter people's memories.
Woo! All you need to do is cut because it's on a line of film, and I can just rearrange it. And she has a special gun that she's talking about because you know their bodies are pretty much made of like metal, so this will definitely work because she shot her in the fucking leg, and she erases her memory, and she's like, let's have a good day tomorrow. Pudding's so funny. I mean, there's a line later that like made me laugh out loud, like so funny.
Yeah, Pudding is crazy, and her devil fruit ability too is crazy. And to have, Big Mom, it's such a crazy thing that she does. She's again, we kind of talked about it in the beginning how she's seeming to try to access some power through like her children and Pudding specifically, but that is how she is able to have this arsenal of power at
her stretch.
Yeah, at her beck and call, because she just, I guess, she fucks powerful people and has powerful kids.
Moral of the story is
she's got a powerful womb.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had a really nasty thought, like a really acceptable thought.
It's intrusive,
and I'm not gonna let
your intrusive thoughts win.
I'm not gonna
you
let
do
it win.
often though.
All I'm gonna say is
okay. See, you're doing it.
It involved Big Mom putting a soul into something, and I'll leave it at that. And it's springing to life and talking and shit. Anyway, this is when, and I'll just leave it at that. That's when
oh my god.
We cut back to Luffy and Nami stuck in a cage, and Jinbei shows up.
Of course.
Daddy shows up to set Luffy and Nami free. This is when Sanji, broken, comes to his sister and tells her everything about what really happened, because she has been made to believe that it was like a soldier. She got caught in some kind of crossfire or something. And that they're going to kill the Vinsmoke family. And that's when she says she believes that as it exists now, that Germa should be destroyed.
And I was like, okay.
And that's when we find out that Sanji's mom took a poison and tried to kill the babies. And that's why she was, hospitalized. And that's why she died. Because even it didn't work. And even after that, she was suffering from the side effects.
Jesus. And he's like, so it's my fault.
Yeah, and Judge was so mad at Sanji, like he was taking it all out on Sanji, which at least gives more reason to why. I mean, other than being a failure, but at least gives a little more insight into why this man was just such a fucking monster.
I mean, he did it to himself, though. He was forcing her to do something that she didn't want to do with her body, like, bitch.
Yeah. Really, yeah. Sanji's sister then tells him, like, you just leave. The bracelets that you're wearing, I swapped them out for fakes. They're not real. Like, she
everything holding you back, you can go.
She's like, Big Mom, our dad was the one who was saying he was going to go after Zeph. So if we get killed, Zeph is going to be fine. Big Mom, all she wants is Germa. She's not going to she'll leave you guys alone. Just get out of here.
Yeah.
And again, this is the Sanji that we've always known was in there, but just felt like we hadn't seen for so long. And he just says, like, I just can't run away.
I mean, that was definitely a highlight moment for me later too, with, the same thing being brought up again and his interaction with Luffy.
Yeah. This is when we learn that Big Mom has taken Brooke as a pet. And
I love this moment. All of them are going through the mirror to try to swap out a version of Brooke with something else. And it was such a Toy Story 2 moment.
Toy Story 2 moment.
Toy Story 2, Woody trying to get the remote. I mean, Woody's trying to get the keys.
Oh, right.
Stepping on the Cheetos.
Right. Iconic.
Yeah, iconic scene.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Especially, it's just weird that you would reference that coming from someone who, loathes the Toy Story franchise.
It's really funny that you would say that to me, because I've mentioned multiple times that I like Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2 being my favorite. Toy Story 3 was great, should have ended there, but Toy Story 4 is where I drew the line. Toy Story 4 is where I drew the line in the sand, and I said, you know what, I'm going to separate myself from this cash hungry,
Machine.
venture machine of these toys, because it doesn't matter. They're not doing it for the love of the fan. They're doing it for the money, for the greediness, for what? For what?
And let's not even get you started on Lightyear.
Don't
again.
get me started.
Mm,
You know it.
yeah.
It's just weird that you would like try to gaslight me right now on the podcast and say that I don't like the Toy Story franchise when you know damn well that I love Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, and Toy Story 3. I have no problem with Toy Story 3. Should have ended in Toy Story 3. And if you want to do this again, we can. We can do it outside. Just let me know.
I'm ready when you're ready, dude, because I'm tired of you shitting on.
No, I'm so tired of
because
it.
you either it's like you're either with me or you're against me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kind of Toy
Okay.
Story is. You know, that's what Toy Story is. I'm not saying that's me, but I'm saying that's what Toy Story is. So if you don't love me for all of me, you know what I mean? Like Toy Story. If you don't love me for all of me, then you don't love me at all.
Now you're sounding a lot like Toy Story 1 Woody.
And you're sounding
a bitch.
Oh my God, dude. And you're sounding like you want to pick and choose what you love about people. You know, you're trying to say like, oh yeah, I love like, this part about you and this part about you, but that part didn't need to exist. You're sounding like Big Mom. That was too far. that was too far. That was too far.
Thank you for apologizing.
I apologize.
I don't.
Okay. I don't need it. That's also when Big Mom, talks about screwing up with
up?
Roger. She's done plenty of screwing, but this is when
you think her and Roger fucked?
Hell no. Hell no.
Maybe.
No way. Roger wouldn't go near that. Okay. Mehgan is writing a fanfic. She said, I'm not going to screw up like I did with Roger. He used that strange ability to hear the voice of all things and read the stone. But I've got a secret weapon of my own that will one day wield that power. She's talking about pudding. We talked about in the beginning. What does that mean? Who are these three-eyed people?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they from? Like you were saying, what are they capable of? And it's just this power too. We're starting to learn more about it and see it more. It's starting to pop up more. And the fact that Roger is able to, he doesn't even have to decipher or decode them, that he could just kind of like hear them is absolutely crazy. Why are you laughing? Do I have something on my face? Did I mess my goatee up?
I just have the giggles for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Thinking about Big Mom as a screw.
And
He's
Roger
not gonna screw
fucking
me over again.
You're just sitting over there laughing. Wow. Anyway.
Sorry. Continue.
We also find out about the egg fruit and his ability.
I don't know if we talked about the juice fruit yet.
Oh, the juice fruit too, which is crazy. Shit is crazy. Yeah. She's out there wringing people dry, dude.
I know.
It's pretty.
It's
pretty
graphic as fuck.
Yeah.
God damn.
Shit. A lot of these characters in Whole Cake Island, they can. I was freaking wrung dry after this.
What do you mean?
Well, just cause we haven't gotten there yet, but there's another scene.
Oh my God.
I just think it's a really powerful moment, and it really adds a lot to, I think, the overall world of One Piece, and just like everything that is happening. It's just so full of like valuable information.
Yeah.
And just because like two characters are in the shower when it happens, that doesn't mean it's like any less like
valuable,
important like to the overall story. Like that chapter is gonna have ramifications. You're gonna have to go back and reread it just for all the hidden messages in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of hidden messages in there. And you just gotta keep
hidden messages in there.
You gotta keep looking.
A lot of hidden messages in there.
Yeah. But anyway, the egg fruit and the Pedro explosion, which was pretty baller, dude. He freaking kamikazes himself, dude. And then, but like dives into a mirror to escape into the mirror world. Sick as fuck. This guy's a G too.
Yeah,
Pedro is a goat. Kara's drawings, which we already talked about. Luffy then is on his way to the spot. He kind of comes across Sanji's sister, and they kind of catch up with each other. But
she just tells him what he needs to hear is like he knows it's all a trick or whatever. He knows he's gonna die. And go, okay, cool. That's all I need to know. Bye.
Yeah, bye. I'm going to the spot.
Bye. Going to the spot. Going to my spot.
Then Jinbei and Nami get taken into the mirror world, and the kids are all in a meeting room. Big Mom's kids are all in a meeting room, and they're all scratching off the straw hats.
This one's out.
This one's out.
One's done.
We got this one. This one's taken care of. This one's in prison. This one's dead. This one's and they're wrong. They're wrong about everything. Cream lies and was like, yeah, I burned Straw Hat Luffy and Nami alive. They're dead. Trust me. I don't know. The fact that anybody believed any of that is crazy.
I know. They're like, okay, well, I guess that's all of them. Cool. We're set.
But Sanji then is, he's sitting out there in the rain, dude.
Dude, Luffy looks haggard.
Oh, Luffy is emaciated, dude.
Yeah, Luffy hasn't eaten in like an hour.
Yeah, right?
No, but he's been fighting a lot, so that like gives him his strength back.
But before that, Sanji's sitting there, and he's sitting there looking at that little basket, that little dinner that he made for Pudding, and he's like, Sanji, you fool, dude. You made all their favorites.
I know. And we see all we see like a fish.
Yeah.
We see
meat. Some meat there, yeah.
Oh.
And he goes after Luffy, but he's chased down by Bob and the Disposer. That's when we cut back to Brook being rescued from Big Mom. And this is where Brook reveals that he just did one of the most important things for the Straw Hat crew.
But history.
And for the end game.
No, for history.
Yeah, for history.
For all. For everyone.
Like, Brook might have just done the most important thing ever. He got the Poneglyphs. He got them, and he has them all splayed out. And really, they only needed to get to Raftel. They just needed the Road Poneglyph, which he for sure got. Well, I don't want to say for sure, but he seems like he got. But out of the 13 Poneglyphs, he might have got all of them, but in the panel, I went back and I made sure I checked. He only had 3 pieces of paper splayed out. So when he pulled them out of his little secret compartment in his head, he only had 3 of them out, which leads me to believe either he only had time to get 3. So that could then mean that maybe in some One Piece fashion hijinks, he got 3. Everybody's like, oh my God, you're amazing. But then it maybe turns out that he did get 3, but he didn't get the Road Poneglyph, but maybe not. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But he got at least 3, maybe got them all. Brook's the GOAT. This is why he's an S tier Straw Hat. If you don't like Brook, I don't get you. I don't get it.
That's true. We can't be friends.
Yeah, I don't get it. And that's when we see emaciated Luffy, which is the craziest thing
Literally,
ever.
He's like,
yeah. I was face cracked when I saw that.
He's like, Sanji.
Yeah. He's like, oh man.
I was like, how did you go from like, okay, bye, to like,
yeah. He jumped out the window. I gotta go to the spot.
Bye.
Oh, Sanji. Is that you?
Danji.
He does say that.
Danji.
And while this is all happening, we see Bobbin, the Disposer. He gets taken out by some shady people, and that's going to lead us into sort of what we find out towards the end. Someone's up to something in Whole Cake Island. On Whole Cake Island.
On Whole Cake Island, yeah.
Sanji then feeds Luffy the same way. He fed his mom the rain food and the dog situation and all that. We've already touched on that, like you said, very poetic, mirrored. That's when Luffy has that incredibly powerful moment where he punches Sanji and he says, "Tell me how you really feel."
Bro.
Because Sanji's like, I still can't go back because of A, B, C. And Luffy's like, bam.
Literally.
It's that tough love. Tell me how you really feel. And Sanji breaks down. And again, this was another heartbreaking moment. I could have never predicted that I would have felt this just impacted and just so devastated by so many things that Sanji would say. But he says, tears in his eyes, like, I want to go back to the sunny. Like, it was almost
his
the same
home
as that moment with Luffy when Jinbei's making him realize, like, what matters, like, what he still has in the Straw Hats. And he's like, my crew. It was almost like that same moment. He's like, I want to go back to the sunny. Like, fuck. Like, it just felt like he was holding on to that for so long. Like, that's all he's been wanting.
Yeah.
And he's wanted to say it. He's wanted so bad to say it. His heart, like, it really felt like his heart had been screaming that. His heart had been screaming that he wanted to go back to the sunny, and now he could say it, and it came up like word vomit. It almost felt like. And just to be able to capture that in that panel was a feat.
I mean, it was so emotional. I mean, even the cake was in tears.
The cake was in tears. Tiers. Yeah, Mehgan. Wonderful. You made that joke already, and
It was
made
a different.
again.
No, it was a different pun.
You made the cake tear joke.
I said blood, sweat, and tears. This is a different type of context for a different type of pun. Don't you get it? Don't you understand, bozo?
I'm not a bozo.
You are.
You clown. Okay. Sorry. You're bringing it out. You're bringing it out of me. You're not a clown. You're not a clown. Although clowns, clowns get a bad rap, dude. Clowns.
I like clowns.
Okay.
I really like
Then
clowns.
I just complimented. Okay. Chill. Chill. Freaking.
And I forgot to give my boy Buggy love. I love Buggy. He can get it.
We know Buggy can get it.
Everyone knows Buggy
Everybody
can get
knows Buggy can get it. Come on now.
it.
Yeah. Really powerful moment. That's when Luffy says, let's crash the wedding. He's like, let's crash the wedding. Then the gang is able to reach Luffy through a shard of mirror, and they are ecstatic about Sanji's return. They
Yeah,
play
he's
it
like,
up.
he's like scary. He's like, oh, you guys like, I don't know if they will, like, Nami hates me.
Yeah, Nami hates me.
Which is like a big deal.
Of course it
You know,
is.
Nami Swan.
Yeah, you don't want to get on Nami or Robin's bad side. Yeah. But they kind of play it up too. Oda plays it up where it's like, he's like, good news, guys. Sanji is coming back, but we got to go save the Vinsmokes, because he's like, I just don't have it in my heart to like let these people die, even though I should, even though everything that they've done to me, like I should let these people rot in the worst hell. I just can't bring myself to do it. I can't bring myself to run away. And he's like, Luffy's like, Sanji's coming back, guys, but we got to do this. We still got to crash the wedding. We got to do this. We got to do that. And then everybody's like, what? And it's silence. And then they're like, that's great. Like, that's great. And just the way it was played, it was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, you reminded me of that highlight moment. Sanji's like, I can't, even after everything they've done to me, I can't abandon them. And he goes, well, yeah, that's just because that's the person you are.
Yes.
And that was like, oh my gosh. It was, again, One Piece shining a light. Like, there's good and bad people. And the cards that you're dealt in life, you could change your path.
Yeah.
And after all of that, Sanji it's just not who he is. It's just not the person he is. And like a part of him, is relatable. Like a part of me wishes I could be that person that can just be like, F you, bye. But, it's just not who I am. It's just not who Sanji is.
And for Luffy not only to wholeheartedly accept that, but love that about him.
Yeah, and not be like, you should be like, fucking let them die.
Yeah, because there's so many people who would say that. There's so many people who would say like, why? Like, they did this to you. They did that to you. But for Luffy to see that, recognize that, love that, acknowledge that, like, man, I mean, it's maybe a little corny and cheesy, but we can all aspire to be more like that. Like, you need people like that in your corner. And that's real. Like, to see him do that and to see him just go like with a smile on his face too. Like, yeah, that's who you are.
Yeah, it's because, yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Man.
that. Highlight.
One Piece is the greatest manga of all time. It really might be.
He said it.
For
He
real.
said it.
For real. This is when Jinbei explains the severity of the situation and all the figures that are going to be attending the wedding, the tyrants of the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells everybody a little bit more about Capone from the West Blue and the 5 families of the West. What he likes to do is he likes to cut the heads off of organizations for fun. He don't do it for territory. He don't do it for no other reason than to just watch the chaos and watch everything fall apart.
It's some
from a distance.
It's a Godfather callback with the horse head and yeah.
Yeah. And that's when we find out that Capone is planning to take Big Mom's head. And Jinbei says, will you team up with him? Jinbei asks if Sanji and Luffy will team up with him.
He's like, I have a meeting set up right now.
Yeah, I truly didn't know how Luffy was going to respond in this moment.
Me either.
And I almost kind of thought there was no way that Luffy was going to go along with it.
And he almost didn't. I mean,
Yeah.
a couple times.
But before we get there, That's when Lola's twin explains to Nami, because the other straw, he says, yeah, we already have a meeting already set up. We'll meet you there. We'll get there through Mirror World. You guys just meet us at their base. And there's this whole thing, and I think it's kind of cool. Even if it's just an excuse to have them all in this like these get-ups.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Capone's and I don't know if it's Capone or Capone, whatever. But I'm just gonna keep saying Capone. Sorry. But he's like, yeah, he doesn't like to meet with nasty people that are unclean, so wash up. It's not a question, it's a requirement. And it's so cool because it ends up with everybody just sitting in this like, mob attire. And it's the most gangster shit of all time.
Yeah, we get Suit Luffy.
Yeah, Suit Luffy. I mean, this is kind of like, a little film gold-esque, but this is like canon, and I love it. But that's when it's a scene that I think maybe some people might breeze past. I mean, some people might not really catch this. There's really a lot happening in these panels.
Yeah.
A lot. And it's a scene where Nami and Carrot. Well, because like I said, like Capone doesn't want to meet with like unclean people. So if you're dirty, then you have to take a shower.
Mm-hmm.
So Carrot and Nami are showering and just cleaning up. It's hard to talk. Cleaning up, and that's when Lola explains the whole situation about Prince Loki and the Prince of Elbaf, and how Lola was supposed to marry him, and Big Mom that's how Big Mom was supposed to get the power of the Elbaf warriors, but it fell through because Lola ran away, and that's why she hates Lola. But also the saddest thing ever, that Big Mom, similar to I guess Sanji's dad, but Big Mom, because they're twins, has been taking it out on Lola.
I know.
I mean Lola's twin. Whose name I forget, but has been taking it out all on her. And it's just been like, she's like, yeah, she just like beats the shit out of me because we have the same face. And I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
So it makes sense why she's like, yeah, when Capone said we were going to take her out, I was like, I didn't bat an eye. I was like, yeah, take her out.
Sure.
Yeah. So then the Straw Hats have their little gang meeting where they're all fitted up. And we see a familiar character sitting there. Gangster Gastino. Who they recognize as Caesar.
They're like, we know it's you. He's like, what? No. And he's like laughing, the same laugh. They're like, you're not even trying to hide it.
This is so funny. This is the kind of the moment. I don't know if anybody felt the same way, but this is the moment where I was like, I think I love Caesar. Which is a crazy thing to say. I know. But I was like, I think Oda did it somehow, this monster.
Somehow, some way.
I think I love Caesar. But, Luffy's upset, and of course he is. He's like, you shot PComs. Let me hit you for shooting PComs and this and that. And Jinbei's like, look, guys, we all have a common enemy right now. Big Mom is our common enemy. Do you hate Big Mom? Do you hate Big Mom? Do you want to take her out? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, all right, then for right now, we're all on the same page. We could deal with all this shit later. And Capone's like, yeah, we'll basically form an alliance, but the moment we leave this island, it's off. Which is just Jinbei doing what he needs to do, and it's just talk sense into everybody.
Yeah, I like that. I like that panel, the full page where they're like all screaming at each other, like the plan, like, yes, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Fine, okay. So fun.
They team up, and that's when they start going through their plan. They have a 5-second window, and they're gonna use these like KX launchers that are filled with some of Caesar's gas, and they're gonna use it to shoot Mama. She has like impenetrable skin, but she has been seen in a weakened state when a waiter at a previous tea party broke a picture of Mother Carmel, who at this point in the story we don't know anything about. But once this picture, who she sets up across from her, is broken, or once it was broken, she freaked out, unleashed her own Haki of the Supreme King, fell to her knees, and that's when Capone noticed that her knees were bloody.
Yes, and she had like a crazy scream. To go along with that.
Yeah. So that's kind of their plan. They're gonna, everybody's gonna sneak in. They're gonna break this picture, and in that moment, when she's unleashing her Haki and she's vulnerable, that's when they're gonna shoot her. They got it all figured out. Luffy at this point, he's like, yeah, I'm in, I'm down. He's like, I have a funny idea, like a funny way of how to enter.
Yeah, I like that. He's just like thinking about he's gonna have a grand entrance, and Chopper's like, is it gonna be fun?
Yeah.
And Nami's like, I don't even know why I was worried about you. Because she's like, Luffy, be careful. And he's like, I'm going to do this.
And, not only is Luffy's plan, because Luffy describes it as funny. He's like, I got a funny idea. I have a funny idea. And I really do think Luffy was doing it just because he thought it was funny.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's also really smart. Even though Luffy just kind of undoes anything that would be smart about it. It was still really cool. And then, of course, they're going to escape through a mirror that Caesar's going to fly in. And it seems like a foolproof plan. Of course, something's bound to go wrong. So the it's the day of the wedding. And, the whole time, we've been, Jinbei's continued to talk about his honor, which he clearly has, and we know him for having.
Yes.
But he says that, I try, this is so out of character for Jinbei, which I love. For him to do what he's doing the way he's doing it in terms of leaving Big Mom and the way he's going to do it. But to him, he's like, I've tried to leave the honorable way. I went and out of respect, and I did what I had to do out of respect. And, you kind of just spit in my face. I'm done with kind of
you're getting the wrath.
With honor. Yeah. I've tried. And he still is an honorable man. And the part that gave me chills that's coming up, which is kind of around the same time, is the Jinbei moment. One of the coolest moments in all of One Piece to me. This shit was fucking wild. But that's when we also meet Charlotte Karakuri.
Woo!
With observation haki so sharp he can see moments into the future. This is crazy. The implications of what people can even do with hockey on top of having to go through what? And I've seen this character around. I knew nothing about this character. If you would have told me it was Big Mom's, one of Big Mom's kids, I would have been like, again, Gege. But I thought for the longest time, I thought it was Vegapunk. I didn't know. I just thought something about his vibe. I was like, that's Vegapunk. It's not. It's Big Mom's kid.
Yeah.
But we're at the wedding ceremony now.
I like this moment too with Pudding, and she's just like, I'm so emotional. And they're like, what's wrong? You seem so sad. And she goes, yeah, it's just after the wedding, I'm going to have to erase everyone's memories. And I'm going to get blood all over my dress. And it's just a big pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I'm just crying. I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Well, that's a little extreme.
Well, it's just inconvenience.
Oh, we're learning a lot about Mehgan today.
Big pain in my ass.
A big pain in my ass. It's a big one. It's a big pain in my asshole. We're at the wedding ceremony. We're in the home stretch. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're in the home stretch. I want to give time to both of our shiver moments.
Okay.
And the ceremony is starting. Luffy is asleep, and Sanji is a good actor. That was a funny moment too. When Kapo's like, "Damn, he's really selling it."
Yeah. He's talking. He's like, "Damn, this kid can act."
Because Sanji, of course,
he's such a good actor. Sanji, you're really killing it with the acting, my friend.
And it's because Sanji is so conflicted on the inside.
Yeah.
The wedding happens, and the kiss is about to happen, and this is so crazy because Karakuri can see into the future, a few moments into the future, and he sees Pudding drop to her knees. So we all think, again, dude, this is crazy. This shit is so crazy. Whole King Island Part 1 is so fucking crazy. It goes off, it goes so hard.
I know. I thought she got shot in the eye. I thought Sanji was like, thunk.
Well, I thought the plan just started. I thought they were just going through with the plan. So he's like, what could possibly happen? And Pudding's opens her third eye, and Sanji's like, what a beautiful eye. And Sanji's like, what? And she just starts weeping.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we get a little flashback of her and how she was bullied.
Yeah, even by Mom. She's like, you're kind of fucking fugly, but
yeah.
You'll be useful to me someday, so.
That's when we finally see what Luffy's plan was, and a bunch of Luffy's jump out from inside of the cake. Luffy's idea, which was a brilliant idea, was to put a little mirror inside the cake and then have Brûlée transform a bunch of animals that he caught into Luffy's and unleash him into the party. This man is a strategic genius, mastermind.
He put a little stripper action.
Oh yeah. Luffy out of the cake. Yeah, I like that. He did. You ever think Law would jump out of a cake?
I hope.
We can all hope. We can all hope. So Luffy, then I say he kind of undermines this like brilliant plan because even Capone's like, damn, this is kind of smart, dude. And Big Mom's like, which one is the real you? And
you
he's
ruined
like,
my wedding cake.
yeah, and
Just
Capone's
looking
like,
forward to the wedding cake.
Capone's like, it's a diversion. Like, you're so stupid. And then Luffy's like, I'm the real Luffy. And he's like, Jesus Christ.
I saw a meme and it was like Straw Hat sneaking into anywhere, and it was just like this lady like holding a dog's mouth because he was gonna bark at like, Luffy saying that he's Luffy.
That's funny. That's when Katakuri catches Luffy, and we find out that he has the mochi fruit, which I'm sure we're going to see a lot more about that in him in part 2. But the meantime, Jinbei is like, because Big Mom's like, how do you know all of this? How do you know about the picture? How do you know about this? How do you know about that? And Jinbei's like, it's me. Like, I'm the one who's giving him all this information.
Yeah, I was lit. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, because he's kind of covering to buy some time.
And he's like, yep, it was me.
Yeah. And this is, my moment. And I want to give ample time to your moment. This is my moment. One of the most baddest moments. I don't know why. I might be just like hyped on the moment, but it might just be because it's so fresh in my mind. But this was so crazy, so epic. And I had to put the tablet that I was reading on down and like pace around the room. Dude, I had to let it soak in because it was so crazy. Jinbei. So the way that Big Mom's powers work, by the way, is that how she steals lifespan from people. She is able to do it because of like people's fear of death and something about the soul and its natural inclination to like cling to life. Every soul has this like inclination to cling to life. And the more people are afraid, that's when they start like oozing this, stuff. And that's how she like takes people's lifespan and soul. So Big Mom's trying to take Jinbei. She's like, she points to Jinbei and she's like, leave her life or whatever. And Jinbei's like, I'd give you my life. He's like, I'll still do it. Like, I'll still give you, all of my life. If you want all of my life, and if it means that you're going to leave all my people alone, and if you're going to like stay true to your word, like, do it. But that's not what you want to do. Like, you want to take my life and some, and you want to do all this other shit. But if you want to take it, go ahead and take it. And she tries to take it, and she can't take Jinbei's lifespan. And she's face cracked too. And Jinbei says, a man who would be a crewmate of the future king of the pirates cannot afford to tremble in the presence of a mere emperor. Like, excuse me, Jinbei, go off, dude. Tell that big ass mom how it be. Tell that big ass mom how it is. This shit was crazy. A crewmate of the future king of the pirates. He cannot afford to tremble in the presence of a mere emperor. I'll read it every night before I go to bed, that line.
Yeah.
Every time before I got a job interview, every time before like a big moment in my life, when I feel a little afraid, every time I feel a little scared, a crewmate of the future king of the pirates would not tremble in the presence of a mere emperor.
I believe that's a line in our good Pastor Lucci's word.
I believe so too.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. I believe Jinbei has been going to the church of Lucci. Believe that. I believe that. But this was absolutely incredible. And again, what it really is that Jinbei, a man who has lived, has so much life experience, has so much power, has seen so many things, has been through so many things, has come across so many powerful people, just is such a huge presence in the entire world of One Piece. So many people are aware of this man and acknowledge this man, have respect for this man, and for this man, this fish man, to acknowledge Luffy and say this. It means so much. It means so much coming from Jinbei. And that's when Jinbei officially quits the Big Mom Pirates. He breaks the little glass. Jinbei, I mean, Jinbei better not, like, this better signify, like you said, that Jinbei is now officially part of the crew, and he better not leave. He better not leave. He better be here to stay. This time my heart can't take it.
I think he is, because he said, like, everything that happened, like, it should be time. Like, all that's kind of settled.
That should be the last thing he has to scratch off his list. Yeah. Then Brooke, dressed as Luffy, hilarious.
Bro, I was like, what is that?
I knew immediately. I could smell Brooke from a mile away. I really can.
What does he smell like?
He smells like dirt, and like wet dirt. He smells like wet dirt, but I like it.
Wet dirt actually smells good.
You know what he smells like? Wet dirt does kind of smell good. He smells like wet dirt and like, you know, your grandfather's cologne.
I think he smells like, it's like a wet dirt and wet concrete.
Why concrete though? That's what's just the vibe you get.
It's just like, it smells nice.
I think it's wet dirt and like, you know, a cheap cologne. That's what Brooke smells like. Because you gotta incorporate the Soul King in there a little bit.
Or it's like wet dirt and like brandy.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I like that. But isn't he always drinking tea?
Barley.
Herbs. He smells like
herbs.
Herbs. Oh, shooty. Crazy. Now I got the giggles, dude. Oh, man. Okay, all right, we're almost done. Come on. When it gets to the end, we get a little loopy. I'm trying to hold it together.
Okay, you can laugh.
Breaks the picture.
Yeah, breaks the picture. This was the highlight for me.
Oh, yeah. And real quick, I want to get to the highlight for you. I want to give you time to stop laughing. This is also where Sanji delivers a cool line to Pudding. He's like, you know, the only person you're fooling is yourself. That was a cool line. And then we get a little bit of this like fight that starts between Sanji versus Charlotte Daifuku, the lamp man with the puff fruit. I'm assuming we're gonna get more of that in part 2. Big Mom is so stunned. She doesn't know what to be mad about.
Bro, yeah.
She's over here like, I don't know what. My picture, my cake, my wedding, my plan. She's like,
herbs.
My herbs. Herbs. Yeah, she's like this. My wedding, my cake, my picture, herbs. Yeah. Big Mom is stunned, dude. She's fucked up.
Yeah, she is. They got her fucked up.
Pedro is challenged by Charlotte Oven. I'm sure we're going to see more of that in part 2. Now it is Megan's goosebumps, a moment that brought her to goosebumps moment, where Judge is brought to tears by Big Mom's betrayal. Megan, go off.
Oh my gosh, this part was so amazing. Because, you know, he is very emotional. They're like, oh my God, he's crying. Like, it's like, I guess I guess this alliance meant nothing to you, actually, after all. I had faith in you and blah, blah, blah. And his sons are sitting at the table just like, well, I guess we're dying. Yeah, she's super strong and we don't really stand a chance. And they're just laughing and smiling. And he just has that moment and he just turns to them and he's like, what's so funny?
Yeah.
Because it's like everything that he wanted for them to have no emotion, all of this, like all of their upbringing. He was so proud of it. In this moment, he is disgusted by it.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one feeling it. And it's
I guess it is poetic justice, yeah.
It's that human moment of wanting, you know, you're sad or you're scared and having that human connection because, you know the person next to you is also in the same boat as you, but they don't feel nothing.
Yeah.
And you're in it alone. And you made this happen. If you had a regular sons.
Yeah, you did this.
Yeah. And it was that moment of like, oh, it just gave me goosebumps. Like, it was so amazing.
It really was. I think you articulated it way better than I could have, but it gave me goosebumps as well. Because you really realize that, oftentimes, you see a villain character like that, an antagonist like that, react so like a typical villain would react. Like they get upset, they get mad, they get angry, they want revenge. Big Mom, you'll rue the day you betrayed me. You'll regret this. You'll never forget the Vin Smoke name. I'll make sure to erase you from history one way or another. But he breaks down in tears. Like, that's when you realize, like,
this is all he has.
This is all he has. and how much this really meant to this man. I mean, yeah, it was crazy.
And I mean, it was like, as much as he hated Sanji, as much as he called him a failure, like this is his son's, like one of his first son's weddings.
Yeah.
Like this fool's having maybe a little bit of a good time.
Yeah. And he thinks he's about to seal this deal.
Yeah.
And all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really crazy moment.
I love highlight for this part 1 for me. Like so awesome to see that full circle.
Wow. And you put it really well. That's when we cut to Luffy again wanting, because Big Mom is stunned. She doesn't know what to be mad at. So Luffy's like, we'll just show Big Mom the smashed picture again.
Yeah,
And,
let's do it again.
And this is when Capone's like, what a stupid idea. And then he looks at Karakuri, who looks pale because he's seen into the future. And Capone's like, you know what? Do that. Because he's like, you know what, Strawhead Luffy?
You're onto something.
You're onto something, you crazy son of a bitch. Why don't you go get that picture because Karakuri's looking a little pale. He's seen a future of impending disaster.
Yeah. And that's, kind of when he reveals himself to Big Mom's company that he is betraying them because Karakuri's like, get him.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah.
Kill the Straw Hat Luffy now. And he's like, why would I do that to the man that's on my side?
Yeah. And he deals the final line, an also very epic and also very hype line, beautiful line, the very last line of this part to Karakuri, that is,
everyone has an equal right to change the future.
And that is where the first part of Whole Cake Island, at least our discussion on it, ends.
Wow.
What a crazy line, too. Everyone has an equal right to change the future. Because he's like, just because you can see a little bit into the future, that doesn't make you special.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a privilege. Everybody has an equal right to change the future. And that's when I'm like, you know what, Capone? I really, for whatever reason, I mean, he did start to win me over with the castle fruit. But I was like, for whatever reason, I mean, I just wasn't really, I'm not a guy, I didn't watch the Scarface movies. Okay? I didn't watch Sopranos. I didn't watch Mad Men. This is a genre that just like, I've never really been like old gangsters.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. I just never really got into it. I understand it, sure. But I never really gravitated towards that. Like, just seeing like old gangster guys just doing shady shit. I guess, whatever. If you like it, this is not me shitting on anybody for liking it. It just never connected with me. So for him being that way, or being like, an homage to that, I was like, yeah, I'm not really drawn to this guy. But after this arc, and after, again, it was cool. His fruit was cool, but that was it. But now him, the guy, after this, in this moment, I'm like, you know what? Oda just might have like made me like old school gangster shit.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta watch Scarface.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
It's a good movie. Like her womb. Her womb is so pelude.
I'm sure it's a good movie. I really am. I'm not saying that to be an asshole. I really am sure it's a good movie. I just have really, for whatever reason, and I'm sorry about.
You've seen The Godthumb.
I have seen The Godthumb, which is a parody of The Godfather, and that's, and you forced me to watch it. You tied me down.
And that's pretty much a gangster movie. You don't have to watch The Godfather. You can just watch that.
And I did watch that, and so okay, then I don't need to watch The Godfather. I already watched The Godthumb.
You watch Godthumb, Blair Thumb.
Yeah, your obsession with this Thumb franchise.
They're free on YouTube. Look them up. If you've seen them already, please comment below and say how much you love them.
Anyway, that is the end of Whole Cake Island,
Yay!
our part 1 discussion. We finally made it to the end. It was a long episode.
Oh my goodness! What do we what do we cap it at?
This is gonna be a 3-hour episode, but I just really want to thank everybody for watching and listening, especially if you made it this far. And if you did make it this far, I just want to be really honest, and I just want to be really vulnerable with you guys and tell you guys that, me and Mehgan put all our whole what into the cosplays and into our notes and preparing for this episode. And we are actually recording it a little bit later, actually a lot later than we usually record episodes because again of some scheduling stuff that we're having to work around. But so we're recording it very late after a very long day. And so we hope that we were able to execute it with just as much energy and just as much passion because we really want to put our all into these things. So, just thank you. And we appreciate you being here all the way to the very end because it is very late right now. And I had a blast. I had a blast reading this. I had such a good time reading this. This was such an amazing arc, and we still have the second half to go. Mehgan, what are some of your final thoughts or even theories or any, closing thoughts, I guess, you have on the first part, theories included, of this arc?
I mean, I have really no theories. We've just been given so much in part one. I mean, the way we split it up. I really can't think of how it's going to end. I don't know where it's going to lead. I have no idea. Like, will they be able to defeat Big Mom in this moment? Will it happen much later? I don't know. But I'm super curious to find out. And again, everything in this arc, Sanji's backstory, it wasn't just because it was a sad, another sad backstory of a character. I'm not just feeling for Sanji because he went through horrible things. I'm feeling for him because he is being, treated the way he is by his family because he is a good person. And they're not. And sometimes in families, if you oppose them because you're trying to be a good person, they'll treat you bad because they're not always good. It's so relatable. Yeah. So that's why I love this arc so much. And I love seeing Sanji just be so humble, so gracious. I love that shit where it's like, wherever I come from, wherever my lineage is, doesn't mean that's who I am. I'm not going to treat people like shit just because I can. And Sanji just showed that, and I really, really liked it. I really liked him in this arc, and overall, I mean, the setting, everything, we say it every episode, but this is like,
it's shaping up to be,
it's great.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be like, maybe this is a bold statement, I don't know, but I'm like, I had such a good time reading this. It's shaping up to be one of my favorite arcs. Again, I said this in the last episode too. I'm so curious, I guess, anxious, looking forward to catching up and re-ranking kind of everything.
Yeah.
Because this arc, even though we haven't completed it yet, is shaping up to be like pretty up there for me.
You know what, Josh? I couldn't have said it better myself.
You couldn't have said it worse yourself? You couldn't have said it worse than I said it?
Batter.
Like bad, like a pun.
Like cake batter.
Like cake batter, but...
Like better. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, I thought... got it. It's late. It's late, guys.
Meow.
Thank you.
Herbs.
Herbs. But yeah, I mean, just to kind of give some closing thoughts and stuff, I think we pretty much covered everything and said everything, but just to reiterate, Sanji again, this story about family and just him having this relationship with his father who called him, a failure, and just being accepted for who he is and being loved for the thing that his father hated about him, from Luffy. Everything that Luffy did, everything that Jinbei did. I mean, everybody in this arc was absolutely amazing. And, sometimes with so many characters in so many other arcs, sometimes things might get lost or fall through the cracks. Not fall through the cracks, but, some things, you might be drawn to another group doing another thing than one group doing this thing. But here it just felt like it didn't matter what group it cut to. Like, I was always so excited to see Brooke and Pedro.
I was invested.
I was invested in every single story, to see Chopper and Carrot, to see, Luffy and Nami and Jinbei. And like, it didn't matter who it cut to. I was always so excited to keep reading. Like I said, the setting, like I said, just needing this from Sanji so much, needing this from him so much. And I'm sure that, down the road, he might dip back into some of these things that we found a little frustrating or a little played out. But now that we know that this is, or have been reminded, I guess, that this is inside of him, that this is a part of who he is, like it'll make those things like way more tolerable, I think, or not that they weren't tolerable, but you know, I won't mind them as much because I know that this is who Sanji is, and it was from that line that Luffy delivered. I mean, this arc and Big Mom, I don't think they're gonna defeat Big Mom. I think that there's so much going on right now, so much chaos. They're whether they're gonna save Sanji's family or not, we'll see. But I don't think this is gonna end in them defeating Big Mom. I think that they're going to narrowly escape somehow, and then they're gonna have to come back and deal with Big Mom again in the future. We'll see. But also, you know, my brain is everywhere, and even trying to take notes for this episode was daunting because we are just so much new information is thrust upon us, and so many more possibilities, and so many more things and concepts you know we're getting introduced to. And like I said, like it really does. I said this in the Zoe episode too, but it does feel like we are, you know, nearing the end game. I know that we still haven't read Wano or the Reverie for that matter, and that there's still another saga after Wano, but it does just, you can feel things start to feel like they're coming to a head, coming to a close in a sense, even though, you know, we still have a long way to go. I absolutely had a blast. Like I said, I loved, it had one of the most epic moments from Jinbei. It's just such a joy to see him back. Such a joy to get what we got from not just Sanji, but from the Straw Hats that we missed so much in the back half of Dressrosa. I'm truly in love with this series, guys, and I know I say it every week, and I struggle to find new ways to say it, but you know, One Piece is just such an amazing and important series, and it should truly be mandatory reading. I can't hype it up enough. And again, like I said in the middle of the episode somewhere about how, like, you know, we're so many chapters in, like we're coming up to 900 chapters. And the fact that I'm still surprised, that I'm still just like in awe of the inventiveness and the creativity is just, again, an incredible feat. And a once in a lifetime thing. I mean, like One Piece just feels like a once in a lifetime story. And again, we haven't even finished Whole Cake Island. So these are just sort of like scatterbrained thoughts on the first part. Mehgan said this, I think, before we started recording, but more theories, more speculations, you know, way more to say and to say with a little more confidence after we complete this arc. But all the more reason to stay tuned for part 2, our part 2 discussion. And Mehgan, I love your theory too about the Kuma being maybe an artificially grown human, and just, you know, maybe some of the Vegapunk things starting to seem like they're making a little bit more sense, or we're starting to get a bigger picture. But again, stay tuned for part 2. So much more discussion on One Piece and Whole Cake Island. Coming up. Mehgan already has her cosplay planned for the next part. I don't have it planned quite yet. Do I, Mehgan? I don't know if I do. Do I? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. But yeah.
Not yet, but we will.
You're not going to want to miss it. That's going to do it, though, on our discussion of Whole Cake Island Part 1. We are not done yet, though. Before we go, we have to shout out and we have to thank, from the bottom of our hearts, our wonderful, our beautiful, our amazing Patreon and YouTube members. And not just them. They hear it every episode, and they deserve to hear it every episode. They deserve to hear, both our Patreon and YouTube members, how much we love them, how much we appreciate them, and how much we literally could not do if it weren't for them and their support.
Yeah.
But I also want to take a moment to thank everybody who reached out and helped us fund some of these cosplays through the Amazon wish list.
Oh my gosh. Look at all this.
Like everything that Mehgan is wearing right now was because of just the kindness of people who are purchasing things from our Amazon wish list. There's only a couple things up, I think, as of this recording, and we might add a few things here or there just to really finish strong, you know. But I just really, we're going to do something eventually, where once we get everything, like so many people put notes and things in their packages. And, we really want to take the time to properly thank each and every one of you. So we're going to get all that stuff together and properly thank you guys too. But I just wanted to, in this section, take a moment to really thank you guys because, I'm not going to get too much into it here, but, and we'll talk more about it at a later date in a community live or something. But, we are at a point in a place right now where we are, leaning so much on our community for, your support and you guys are there for us and have been there for us and are like consistently and constantly blowing us away. Like we just came off of our 200th episode, like not too long ago. And the love, the support, the donations, yeah, of course, life-changing. But the sentiment and the generosity and the love behind those donations and the meaning and the community and all of it, I mean, literally brought Mehgan to tears on the live. And, you
almost cried.
I almost cried.
It was very emotional.
It was very emotional. It touched me just as much. I have a harder time crying, but it touched me equally. And I saw
a glimmer.
But we love you guys. Like we love you guys, and we are a family. Like we really are a family.
Nakama.
Nakama. You live in our pockets, like I've said before. Like your names. We really feel like we have such a special relationship with our community. It doesn't always feel just like strangers behind a screen. Like, I don't know. I just feel incredibly lucky to have you all in like our lives and to have met you and because of the craziness of YouTube and everything, or if you're listening to this on an audio platform, for our paths to have crossed this way, it really touches me. And I'm feeling like extra sentimental because of, we're coming off our 200th episode, but I just want to thank you guys really, truly from the bottom of both of our hearts. Like we are so grateful to all of you and feel so lucky, and your support is so special. Your support is so special, and we couldn't do what we do without you. The cosplays, the equipment. I say it every episode, and I say it differently because you deserve at least that to get a genuine message and a genuine thanks from the heart. So I just want to say that again. Like, I love you guys, and I thank you guys so much for all of your support. Couldn't do it without you.
You're gonna make me cry again.
Sorry. But if you're not a Patreon or YouTube member and you would like to become one, then all you got to do to become a Patreon member is go to patreon.com/volume1pod. And all you got to do to become a YouTube member is click join on this video somewhere around or by the subscribe button. What that does is give you early access to all of our episodes and access to our exclusive bonus Patreon and YouTube member podcast, Volume 1 Extra, that we record and release bi-monthly currently. But you get all of that at our lowest tier on both places. And if you decide to join the YouTube membership program, you get access to all kinds of emotes and stuff too that we recently updated that you can use in the lives that we do every Wednesday, or that you can use in the comments and stuff too. And so it's just a little extra incentive and a little extra fun thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, if you want to become a Patreon member or a YouTube member and show your support that way, then you can do that by going to patreon.com/volume1pod or clicking join on this video to become a member. But if you're at a place in your life right now where, you can't support financially, or you just don't flat out want to, please do not worry. Because there are so many other things that you can do to show your support, and they are things that truly and honestly mean just as much to us. We never want anybody to feel bad for not being able to, or not even wanting to support financially. We totally understand and get that. But there are so many other things that you could do for free. And Mehgan will tell you all about those things now.
Yes, if you have no more berries to spare, do not worry, do not fret, do not bat an eye. All you have to do is comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff on any one of our videos. It does help us out so much, and it helps out our algorithm a lot. And that's free, totally free. And if you want to support, if you want to show that love, all you have to do is do those things. We get a bunch of comments, theories, thoughts, funny clips, all that stuff is so important, and it does help out our channel so much. It acts as a free tip to us, and if you share this video with any other One Piece lovers, fans, that does mean so much to us too, and that's all things you can do for free. Also, we do have social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, very active in the Discord as well if you want to go check that out. All those links are in the bio, and that is also a way you can show your support.
Yeah, you can find everything in the description down below. Thank you guys so much. You can find some cool merch there too, some cool Dumb Piece merch and stuff there too. Any and all ways, any way you choose to show your support means the absolute world to us. Like I say at the end too, view duration matters too. So even if you're here at the very end, just watching and just listening still, then that helps a lot for longer form videos on YouTube too. So we greatly appreciate any and all ways that you choose to show your support. But that is going to do it for another Done Piece episode.
Yay!
Whole Cake Island Part 1 done.
Let's go.
The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which today, Mehgan, is a lot of stuff.
Oda left no crumbs.
Oda left no crumbs. I think we can do better, but I like it. And I know people,
This episode is crumb to an end.
Crumb to an end. I like that. I like that more.
Icing on the cake.
Icing on the
whole cake, that is.
Whole cake. I know that people, I imagine some people are like, Josh, how can you comment on, whether Mehgan's outro is good or bad when you have nothing to offer?
That is interesting. I'm sure someone's going to say that.
Yeah. And to that, I say, I'm just here to bounce ideas off of and to elevate, my co-host.
Until next time, toot sweet.
Toot sweet is good, but it's like, until next time, toot sweet? Like, toot sweet what? Toot sweet what, Mehgan? I'm sorry. Now I'm just leaning into it. Mehgan, okay.
Okay, think of one.
No. Okay. Now I'm sensing a little bit of pushback, and I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. I like the crumb thing. We've used the crumb guzzler joke before. Never gets old. But Germa 66. Let me go through the notes here. Fuck, Mehgan.
Sugar. Honey,
not the whole cake yet. Okay.
You are my
that's because that's who you are.
And you got me wanting you.
Come on, mirror on the wall. Mirror on the wall. Is this the greatest One Piece arc of all? Okay, a little bold, a little dramatic.
Oh gosh.
Okay, we'll use one of yours. Jinbei, Sanji. Don't cry, Sanji.
We like Sanji.
We love Sanji.
We love Sanji.
I like it.
It's sweet, short.
It's sweet.
To the point.
Okay, let's do it. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, we love Sanji. I swear to God, guys, we've always loved him.
I know people are going to be like, oh, now you love him. Now you see the best part of him.
Now you love him. It's like,
we always have.
We've always loved him.
But he's just been a little annoying. Let's be real. Okay? You guys want to get real, okay?